Yes, hello, how are you, ladies, brothers and sisters? Show yetu ya leo imechelewa kidogo. Yeah, but it is because I was traveling. I was coming to see one of my friend na tumeshikana. Kama mnamjua nilikuwa nimekuja na yeye tena kwa show. But so today we are two so that we can be able to analyze issues at home. So I will give my brother maybe 2 minutes to introduce himself, alafu tuanzie kuongea story ya vile siasa Kenya inajipanga and looking at the current issues. So go ahead.
Hello guys, mi naitwa Kiprop, Leonard Kiprop. Is a very long time friend of mine. He's the one who introduced me kwa hii nchi. When I came the first time, he's the one who received me. So we have been here surviving for the past 5 years. So yeah, mi niko huku Minnesota, nafanya kazi huku. So leo nimewakaribisha kwangu. So they are highly welcome. So yeah, Njiru.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, asante. So tumeshukuru. Wacha kwanza nikaribisha wale wameingia kwa show saa hii. And okay, huyu ni Deborah Mombi, asante. Sharon Koi, asante. Fanes Njeri, kuna Anie, Hana Wangari, Rael Waithira, hata Bundi. Yes, Gradwell leo nitajaribu nione kama nitaweka 1 hour plus. So usiniulize story ya kwani siku hizi show ni ya 1 hour. So anyway, today I want us to handle what we think about the formation, the current political formations. Is the opposition forming well? I would want to get opinion ya Kip based on what he is seeing the politics going, and how he feels about how the government is forming also, and maybe can they be able to pull that shock, or they are going to be mummified by the opposition. So those are the things which I want us to handle today. So maybe Kip, I can begin it by first of all asking you, are you positive with Kenyan politics so far?
No, I am not positive. I am not positive, and I am really disappointed by the Kenyan politics so far. Very disappointed.
Why?
Because we are not ready for any change in Kenya. To be sincere, we are not ready. That's that. According to my opinion, we are not ready. And if we were really ready, we lost that momentum last year. We had the momentum last year, and then all of a sudden, we just got misplaced. So I am very disappointed.
So when you say we lost momentum, is it like the Kenyan people, the opposition, who lost the momentum?
Everybody, especially the Kenyan people, especially the euphoria that we created last year from the finance bill. I think that kind of a euphoria was the best euphoria that we could continue with. But after some time there in the middle, I think we got compromised. And we allowed the political class to infiltrate the movement that was very strong. So we got compromised. So it's unfortunate that we got compromised. And I don't know if it will be possible for us to be able to regroup anymore to that extent whereby we can raise that magnitude of a movement that was there. So I don't know. But we'll just have to see on how things will happen in the future. But currently now, we are more disorganized and very, very compromised.
Okay, I get what you say. So let me ask you about when we are talking, because I think like maybe the opposition and the people who have been leading the change and in the government, maybe they decided to plan their activities in reference to 2027 rather than continuing pushing the street charge. So in terms of pushing their change to 2027 and trying to align everything to 2027, do you think it's a fair game or it was a trap by the government?
Which one? The previous opposition or
no, this opposition, which is there.
Or this opposition, or what I can say is they were fine when they started. You see, after the impeachment of the deputy president, when they regrouped together, I think it was fair when they started. But where the problem came in is when I think they had difference in ideologies. The ideologies that they had together, the 4 leaders from the different regions, I think they were not able to aligned together. Everybody had his own self-interest at the top, to be at the top of the pier. So I think, and that's what it is going to be their weakest moments, because the current government is going to use that against them. You see, that kind of division that they are having now is going to really cost them for the presidency. So if I think for now, the best thing that they need to consider is to have a unified opposition. But for sure, Ruta will be able to defeat them if they have a very divided opposition. That's what I can say. So they have to really unify, and they have to put their interest aside, and they have to come up with a strategy whereby they can choose the best flag bearer who will be able to counter the narrative of Ruta. That's what I can say.
Okay, but I think the Kenyan opposition has to unite as a must, because that has been the norm, where by now the opposition has to form like a coalition. So are you not seeing these people having capacity to unite, or you see some of them are very selfish? Is that what you think?
Yes, I think at this point we might not know, but according to what I'm seeing is everybody is chest thumping. There's a lot of chest thumping between the leaders, and time is moving. And if by the end of this year they haven't really figured out on how they can be able to come up together, I think it will be too late for them, because the current regime is really good in creating narratives. And by the time it's next year, or by, let's say, March next year, and they haven't really come up with a strategy on a 100% a candidate that they want to be their flag bearer, by that time the current government will be so much firmer by creating a propaganda and a narrative that is against them. So it will be too late.
And this government has been very unpopular. Do you want to tell me that
it is unpopular?
They have capacity to rebuild themselves?
No, I haven't said that they have the capacity to rebuild. But what I'm saying is, Maura, presidencies are won by the votes in the ballot. They are not won by popularity. You might be not popular, but you will get the votes. Votes are determined by convincing the voter to vote for you. It's not about the opinion poll, or it's not about you being popular. I think that's what I believe in. And to transfer that unpopularity and to salvage and to take advantage on that unpopularity of the government, and to transform that into votes, that will be the biggest work for this ununited opposition. So I think the opposition need to find a mechanism in which they can be able to transfer the anger, the euphoria of the anti-government movement that is currently now, the one-term movement, and they have to catapult it to actualize the votes, to convince Kenyans that they are really meaningful leadership. I think that's where the disconnect is. You can create the euphoria and all those narratives, but you have to transform them into votes. I think that's where they are missing.
Okay. So according to you, when you look at the one-term movement, now that you have brought that term, and I want to expand on that, do you think the known figures in one-term movement, they are not able to form a methodology of winning an election right now?
They can, but the fundamental principle behind it is unity. They have to unite on one goal. That's it. Like now, if we see DCP, the goal of DCP is what? One term.
Yeah.
So another person will come and say, we want to ride on this one term, and we want to do what? We want to create an economic transformation model based on that one term. So it is not about one term. It's not about Ruta alone. It's about more things. So I think they need to add the juice on it. They need to add the juice on it for it to be flavored and to be able to be sold to Kenyans. Because you see now the current regime, they have a counter to one term. They are saying 2 term. So you see now they are equal.
And are they having a crown which is supporting 2 term? Like if you audit, yes, you can say 2 term, but is 2 term acceptable in Kenya? Like
not really. I haven't said that, but what I'm saying is they should be more than 1 term. There should be more than one term. There should be more things that they need to be input, and they should show the technical team behind it.
But I think they are always punching holes on some of the issues which the government is doing badly. Like they have talked about the health system, which is failing. They are talking about education. They are talking about corruption. Don't you think when you're talking about one term, you want to come and solve the problems which the current administration has brought? Is that what they're thinking?
Yes, but there are more emphasis on individual than policy. You see, I know politics, you have to be more on the individual, yes, but also, as you know, we have many Kenyans who are very educated. The Gen Zs are very educated. The Gen Zs needs to hear ideas. They don't need to hear euphoria and personalized attacks. They need to hear that kind of idea resonating in their minds. What are you presenting? What are you bringing to the table? You see? But I haven't seen that. I haven't seen a clear picture on what the one-term movement wants. The idea is to remove Ruto, but
I
really
think
need
that one will come later in the day.
Nope.
When
it won't work
when they are campaigning.
No, campaign has started, Maura. I think to me, campaign has started.
No, but you see, when you start giving your ideas now,
Ruto started his campaign in 2017.
They hijack and then they say that the idea which you are saying was my idea. So you have 2 years. Do you start giving your ideology now?
I don't think they can counter if it's a realistic approach on how they can be able to convince people. I think because Ruto has nothing to say that it is his idea, hence him himself failed with this bottom-up economic model. So once he failed, he cannot come and claim credit on anything. So I think it is high time for the opposition to open up on their strategy and what they really want to do to transform Kenya. But I think that's the best thing.
I think they are talking. If you listen to Matiang'i yesterday, what he was speaking about yesterday is that he was saying everything that the current government has done, they have failed. And even he used Kibaki exclamation, where he said that even Kibaki used to say, hata mtu akona macho anaona hii. So do you really need an explanation of the failure of the current regime?
No, you don't need, but you need solutions. The failure and the crumbled systems are just there. They are open. Even Kenyans know that. But what we are having in Kenya is a vacuum of solutions. Is a vacuum of what systems are we going to bring in for it to work in Kenya. And that's where there's a huge disconnect.
Okay, Kip, I think what happened is that in the campaign there is something we call a manifesto. Are you saying the opposition to give their manifesto now?
They should keep parts of the manifesto. They should bring things to the light. I think this is the time.
When they say we are going to give you a better share, which was almost like NHIF, is that not a solution?
No, that's so general. That's so vague. I think we need like something that is more of a detailed solutions. What are you actually going to do?
So if let's say, like for example, Gachagua, if Gachagua gives details of things which they are going to do now, don't you think that Ruto can hijack those things now?
I don't. Even if he hijacks it, it won't do him any good because he has already failed the system. You see, I don't think even if he tries to hijack it, I don't think it will matter so much because the mindset of a Kenyan has already changed. It's anti the government. Most of the Kenyans, it's just the opposition now to use that as an advantage. That's what I can say.
Yeah. Okay, let's handle another thing which has also been coming up, and it has bedeviled Kenya for ages. Tribal mobilization. Do you think 2027 will have tribal mobilization?
Yes. No, of course, Kenyans will always tribal. Tribal cards has to be played everywhere.
Are you able to figure it out now?
Yes, of course, it's playing around. It won't be as huge factor like in the other elections, but of course, it has to play some role. It might not be a huge factor in the 2027 election, the tribal card, but at some extent, at the end of the day, our politics in Kenya are based on regions. It's regional based, and when we break down to region, it comes down to what? It comes down to tribal cards. So at the end of the day, we will have to go down to communities, and communities belongs to tribes.
So from what you are seeing in Kenya now,
Mhm.
can you be able to? Are there some regional politics which you are seeing? Like, can you be able to say, like, tell us that this region seems like they might join with this one? This one could be.
Yes, of course. Like now, for me, I'm from Rift Valley, and we see Nyanza. They are joining. They are joining us in Rift Valley.
Okay.
And they want to create a coalition like the one in 2008. Yeah, 2007.
Is it a repetition of Pentagon? That's what I'm hearing people saying. Like,
no, I don't know.
They now want a Pentagon with the teeth, not.
No, I don't know because I don't support it. But
Okay.
yes, that's what I know from the ground. What people are saying, that they are together with the West, Nyanza and Western. So, but it's just going to unfold. Probably by next year, we'll get to know which region will align to who
and maybe if I ask you a question, what is that thing which is gravitating Nyanza towards Rift Valley, rather than wanting to form their own independent coalition, or so what is taking Nyanza to Rift Valley? Like, what are the parameters? Why is Nyanza going to Rift Valley now and nowhere else?
I think there is this idea that Nyanza has been owned by only the driving force behind the Nyanza politics is only decided by one man. That's Raila. So I think that kind of ideology has been able to have its roots so deep that if Baba says today, I'm going west, the whole region has to move that way. I think that's the mechanism behind. So I think that's what it's holding Nyanza. So if Baba says I'm going to Raila, I'm going to unite with Regigi today, I'm telling you, by morning all the votes for Nyanza will be in Regigi. If Raila today decides to go to Ruto, that's what's going to happen. So I think he has been able to really capture the imagination of all the people in Nyanza, that's he's the one to give the solutions for everything.
Okay, but it is also being said that Raila Odinga popularity is waning or has waned. Although we do not have a measure of to what level has Raila Odinga popularity dwindled in Nyanza. So if Raila Odinga was to support Ruto all the way to 2027, can he deliver 80% of Nyanza votes to Ruto?
No, I don't think so. He can deliver like 70 to 60%. And again, you need to understand that Nyanza has always been having huge voter suppression. It has always been a victim of voter suppression for a very long time. So if this time round Nyanza will be joining the government, I think the best thing that Ruto will do to make at like 80% voter turnout, I think they will have to really encourage them to vote, because those guys normally don't vote so much. Okay. They can give you the crowds, yes. They can create a perception and a narrative of supporting you, but at the end of the day, the votes, they don't normally really vote. And that's where the problem comes in.
Okay. Is there a guarantee that Raila Odinga will Ruto all the way to 2027?
No, I don't know. That one I don't know. I'm not sure about it, but according to the way things are, I think he will. Because
what if there is a euphoria on the other direction? Is he going to stick with Ruto and all where like the failure of Ruto is clearly visible? Is he going to still go and support a side which he might see it as clearly losing?
I might not know so much about that, because Raila is all about self-interest, you see, and whatever he sees it's deemed fit for him at that moment, that's what will be able to decide. So I think for him, he really follows what interest will serve me best. Will it serve me when I join Ruto, and even if Ruto loses, will I still be relevant politically, or will I defect him at the last minute? So I don't know. It will only depend on the check and balances on how he sees what will serve him best interest at that time. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, then Nyanza is not only about rural Nyanza. There is the other side of the other people, Kisii and Kuria. So are they going to join rural Nyanza?
No, of course, Kisis are always 50-50 divided. It depends on who will be the flag bearer like Matiang'i now. Matiang'i has a very deep root in Kisii, and you see he will be on the opposition side. So I don't think this time round Kisis will be in ODM. Most of them, no. I think most of them will be in these new parties that will come up in the opposition side.
So Kisis will not gravitate to rural Nyanza?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't.
So, and do you see a chance of rural Nyanza gravitating to Kisii?
No. To me, I think it would be to gravitate to who in Kisii.
Like let's say Kisii have a presidential candidate. Can they gravitate to them?
Maybe.
Can there be an option whereby now the rural Nyanza people are now saying it is this Matiang'i versus Ruto, and the rural Nyanza starts to split?
Yes. Yes, there's a higher possibility for that. I think there's a higher possibility for that because, of course, Kisii is in Nyanza province and they're in close proximity. And I think the issues that normally affect Kisii are the same issues that normally affect the rest of the regions in Nyanza province, like Homa Bay and Kisumu. So I think, yes, it will have some huge impact in that sense. Especially if Raila will be able to defect the last minute, I don't think it will be able to save Ruto. Ruto will be at home by 10 a.m.
So, in other words, you are saying that Ruto presidential campaign, is alive as long as Raila Odinga is there.
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
That's a huge factor, yes. So, and again, you need to understand that this time round, Rift Valley is not as 100% as Ruto thinks. People are so different this time around.
Where? Which part of Rift Valley?
Even in Uasin Gishu, it's not 100. Even last year, Ruto got 70% in Uasin Gishu. This time around, even it might go down up to almost 60% or 50%. Things are so different.
So, in other words, based on what you are saying,
yes. So he really needs.
Ruto's second term is not a sure bet.
It's not a sure bet the way he thinks. Even if he has the support of Raila and the other rest of the region, Rift Valley, his backyard, is not as safe as he thinks. Things are not the same the way he thinks. Yeah.
There is something which has been coming up, and especially by some political operatives who are within the president, Kakun, Sudi, and another one from Mandera. They were saying that even if Ruto does not win, they will steal the election. Do you think in the current dispensation and with the current awakeness which is in Kenya, to what levels do you agree that the election can be stolen in Kenya?
I think, on my opinion, is elections depend on who is handing over to who. But for this case now, because Ruto is in government, and I can assure you that, of course, that this government is the most cunning government that you have to really take care of. I don't know. I don't have much comments about that to say about who will steal the election or not. But I'm saying is we should not rule out the possibilities of dishonesty in the electoral process to happen. We should not rule out that. But what I know is this time round, because Kenyans are so much educated, things are so much enlightened in the social media, I think will be so much difficult for things to change or people to change the figures, because people will be so much interested in following up their votes. As we know now that votes are the final verdict of the votes are in the polling station. So I'm very sure in this 2027 election, people will be so much interested even to do their own private tallying. So I think it will be so difficult for the person who wants to manipulate the election in one way or another, because people in every polling station will be always in high alert to secure their vote, because they know this is just a matter of life and death situation. This is a matter of changing or revolution. So I think this time around, the voting system or people who are going to vote will be taking that opportunity not for granted anymore. They will be seeing it as a very important moment. So everybody will be on high alert to be able to understand how the entire voting process is. So I think that's how it is.
Okay, so
Mhm.
now, globally, when people are doing election,
Mhm.
it's about remembering how you feel as, especially when a regime is looking for a second term,
Mhm.
is remembering how you felt when
Mhm.
that regime was in power.
Mhm.
So, according to what you know and what you feel, do you think Kenyans are going to forget what they feel about this regime, and when they go to the ballot, they discredit that and they start thinking afresh, or they forgive them because of the money maybe which they might have received during the campaign season?
I think what is going to determine is the percentage of Kenyans who have gotten civic education between now and 2027. That will be very important. Of course, civic education in Kenya has increased by tenfold, and it's still there. Not everybody has that knowledge about civic education, but I can tell you this: most of the learned generation, learned Gen Zs, and people who have gone to school and people who participated in the previous demonstrations and stuff, I don't think they're gonna forget that pain. I don't think the parents who their children died in the demonstration and the abduction, they will be able to forget that. I think those are permanent marks that are still very raw in the hearts of Kenyans. So it will be so difficult for that to get away. You might bribe people, but there are some things that cannot be undone. And I think that kind of pain that Kenyans have will be really play a very huge role in determining on how people are going to vote in the next election. No matter how much this government will try and bribe people and create a perception of love for in some sort, but I don't think so. I think it's beyond. It's beyond to salvage. There's no love for this regime anymore. I don't think so. So I think it's all about. That's why I was telling you earlier that it's about the opposition now to catapult that and be able to actualize that anger into ideology that now they will be it will be deemed relevant for the people in Kenya to trust them. So I think that's the disconnect. Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
out of the people who have come out in opposition,
Mhm.
there is Gashagwa,
Mhm.
who seems to be like the political machinery.
Mhm.
There is Matiangi.
Mhm.
There is Kalonzo Musyoka.
Mhm.
There is Eugene Wamalwa Natembea, and the list is long.
Mhm.
So, out of those people,
Mhm.
who do you think is best positioned to be a candidate for opposition?
Um, According to my opinion, a person who will really be able to create that euphoria to attract the votes, and again, he is a performer in based on his track record, and he's a no nonsense person. I think it's Matiang'i. I think Matiang'i stands a chance. I think the combination of Matiang'i will really be able to catapult that opposition.
Have you listened to Matiangi political movement? Have you looked at his campaigns, his rallies?
I haven't been interested much, but what I know about him from previous work experience, he's a person who I think he has some honesty in him, and even if he doesn't have honesty, he's a performer. Yes, he's a performer.
Can Gashagwa support him?
Yes, I think he can because he has nothing to lose. And again, you need to understand that Matiang'i being in Kashagwa's side, that means Kashagwa's interest is well taken care of. Because at this stage, it's all about politics, is all about interest. And if our interest aligns, then that's okay. I think uh, Matiang'i aligning with Kashagwa and Kashagwa bringing votes from Mount Kenya, which is a huge deal, is going to get a huge deal out of the government in that regime. So yes, it is workable.
Okay.
Mhm.
There's also another option,
Mhm.
Kalonzo Musyoka.
I think Kalonzo with Ruto, it will give Ruto an easy pass
Why?
because Kalonzo is considered
What if the other opposition also comes and supports Kalonzo?
I really don't know, but what I know is Kalonzo is considered as an old legend type of politician. The same old story. Kenyans will say, "Oh, that's just the same." I think it will be so
not
easy.
creative. You know what you're saying?
Yes.
The candidate is not creative.
I think to me, it will be so easy for the government to create an anti-narrative against Kalonzo by far than Matiang'i.
Okay. So, according to you, think it would be a big deal for him to win?
Yes.
Can he win? Can he win even if it is by little margin?
Maybe or maybe not. So that I cannot be able to say, because Kalonzo, he has the numbers, yes. He has the support, yes. But there is something missing in him. There's some form of, they see him being, I can say, kind of so much, so much soft. And I think some in politics, Kenyan politics, you need some form of arrogance, and Matiang'i has that one.
Some form of arrogance.
Yes.
Does Ruto have it?
Yes, of course.
So when you're talking about that arrogance, is it kuongea vibaya or being unkind?
That form of being bold, showing your boldness. Yeah.
Okay. Gachagua.
Yes. No, Gachagua cannot. Because as you see now, even the government has already started being investing so much in creating narratives and propaganda against him, and Kenyans are really buying it. In fact, even many Kenyans, you'll find many Kenyans saying, "Come on, Gachagua near Ruto." You see that kind of narrative. There are many Kenyans saying that.
Those Kenyans.
I've been seeing in social media.
It has been told severally that if Gachagua is a presidential candidate, he would defeat Ruto in a landslide.
No, I doubt.
To what level?
Ruto will win by 10 a.m. I'm telling you. Why? First of all, if Gachagua comes to be the candidate, it will be a huge heartbreak for many Kenyans who are hoping for change. You need to understand that Gachagua, him speaking, does not represent any future for Kenya. It doesn't look that way. He's a revolutionist. He's not a transformer. He's not somebody who can be able to actualize.
He calls himself Mr. Truthful Man. Don't you think it has arrived a time whereby we need a truthful man in the high echelon of power?
Truth is subjective. Subjective to at that particular time. Yes, truth is subjective. To whom?
But there are some elements.
Yes, of course, there's some elements of truth.
The guy is honest.
Yes, he's very honest.
And don't you think that honesty would actually help us for?
That's why I'm saying with the Gachagua candidate, with Gachagua backing up someone, that's 100% win. But him being there as an image, with those issues in constitutional issues and the impeachment that he has gone through, I don't think it will sail through.
Why is Gachagua losing as a presidential candidate, yet Ruto is not popular? Are people going to gravitate to Ruto?
Because they were with Ruto. So he's a victim of circumstance.
There are so many people who have started hating Ruto. And they
I know.
Before. But do you want to tell me that those people would say if it is Gachagua, I better vote the Ruto who I hate?
Yes, because they were with him. He is guilt by association. He is guilt by association with Ruto. And in Kenya, we have seen a lot of betrayals. Someone will be able to be calling you names, and the next time they are drinking tea together. The same way with Raila and Ruto. Some few years back, they were huge enemies. So it will be a huge betrayal if Gachagua will be able to be a candidate, and they know maybe in the near future, their interest with Ruto will align and they will be together. So he will be guilty by association. I don't think so. So a new image will be a very perfect candidate for Kenya. A new image.
So you are saying if the option is between Gachagua and Ruto, Ruto is winning?
Yes, Ruto will win.
Where are the votes coming from? And I think Ruto has highly been rejected.
All these people that were anti-Gachagua, not anti-Gachagua, who loved Gachagua, like all who are in doubt, like in between, they will be able to come back and be able to give Ruto the votes. Yeah.
Okay, fine. What if Gachagua embosses himself and he says that I will have to be a presidential candidate and we get another force of opposition? That one brings me to, there is this splinter group which is coming up. Sijui kama umeisikia wanajiita Kenya One. There is Gathoni wa Mushomba, Babu Owino, Sifuna, the senator in Nairobi. They are also forming a group, a cocoon, which they are also saying that group is coming to change Kenya. They are calling themselves like the third force. to what extent do you think a third force can come and also become influential and maybe also influence the Kenyan campaign?
It will depend on who they will align with. If they will resonate with the people in ground, they will have a very huge influence. But if they will come and be able to align with the legacy politicians, the same old school politicians, I don't think it will be of much relevance. As you see, Kenyans now are looking for something unique. So if you come to resonate with Kenyans, especially the young people, I think that will create a huge impact for them. They will be having a huge stake to play, even if they might not have a political candidate for presidency, but I think they will have a huge stake in the government that it will be formed. They will be the noisemakers, and of course, in every regime, the noisemakers have to be appeased. Yeah. So I think that's the balance that they need to achieve.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that one is okay. I really appreciate for that kind of discussion. Anyway, na kama Budi unataka kuingia kwa show, unaweza ingia kwa show. You can interact with us, in case kama kuna mtu atataka kuingia kwa show kidogo before we cross at the top of the hour. We have like 24 minutes alafu tufunge. So I appreciate what you are saying. So wacha niutafute ka video kamoja alafu kutoka hapo we can continue. Let me look at what happened during the day. As let me just check what happened during the day, because a lot also happened. So let me just look what happened during the day as we have a small break ya maji kidogo hapa, na kama kuna mtu anataka kuingia kwa show utaniambia. Part of the things which I've seen is
the one for Nebraska discussed kuambia watu hiyo ni senator wa Nebraska alikuwa anakuja akasema for PR purposes. Senate in Kenya.
Let me see.
Yeah. I am 8 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, we are just looking for something. Okay. Hizo ni vitu za kitambo.
Mbona ionyeshe? Walikuwa juzi. Walikuwa wamekuja State House. Okay.
No, we will check, no problem. So let me see. Okay, niingize Bwana Mbudi. Okay, Bwana Mbudi kidogo, before I have you to interact with your
elections, which has become too expensive. 61.7 billion shillings for 2027. That's more than the annual budget of some ministries. So why does democracy cost so much in Kenya?
The elections in Kenya are expensive because of a trust deficit that has grown because of prior experience of bungled elections.
Who pays for it? And could there be a better way? Let's unpack that through one simple analogy. Elections are like weddings. The IBC is the wedding planner, handling logistics, staff, voter registration, and technology like KM's kits.
Kenya uses the highest or most advanced technology at all levels of the electoral process to try and improve the free and fair nature of the elections. Our ballot papers are almost like currency. They're almost like a monetary currency based on the security features that they are printed with. The personnel involved in securing the elections, the polling agents, the polling.
So, Bwana Budi, how are you? Budi, how are you? LX Bundi, how are you?
Fine. Fine. How are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you. Karibu sana. Sijakuona kwa muda. So today I'm with Leonard. Are you enjoying our discussion or umepotea?
No, I was very much enjoying. I'm disappointed. Unafunga show wakati kuna mgeni kwa nini?
Mimi sijasema nafunga show, lakini sasa kama mnakaa huko kwa periphery, sasa tutakaa hapa peke yetu.
Don't need sometimes we need one-on-one stand-up point because sio wakati wote tutakuja hapa juu. Sometimes just give honesty of view. Somebody comes and gives his I like kind of a well-themed approach kama hiyo, so that we can hear what is his view as a persona. Then from there, I think we can respond later on. So I think you guys were doing well.
That's okay. We broke a little bit because we also we broke a little bit because we wanted to make sure that at least you are also interacting and understanding. You can go ahead, you can react kabla aendelee tena, just as a break.
I wanted to remind my buddy there is the media lies, also the continual manipulation of the census of Kenya after 2002. I think the Kibaki administration, when they did that, they did not foresee the impact of it in years later. As Orengo sensationally said, revolution eats their own. So when it comes to numbers, I think especially when we go from one cycle of election to another, the insider of the election, the most important organ within the presidential campaign machine are the pollsters who keep looking at the value addition and the diminishing return in comparison. Because when you go to a certain place at the end of the this is I've been involved in presidential campaign, not on the high level, but like in the research of the ad hoc committee, that after every certain tour or certain campaign, they sit back and ask, are we gaining or are we losing? Is this person an asset? Is this person a liability? So on and so forth. So, but at the helm of that, there has been a duplicity in terms of the numbers in our country. And I think every election cycle allows us to be honest enough. When the more we get out of the government, then it becomes easier for us to pinpoint and look back and say, oh, this, whatever happened, this benefited me, but it was never right. For instance, the issue of Tharaka Nithi, for a very long time, the mountain people, held the position that Rakaniti population is the same as what was presented as in 2007. But years later, people have come to agree that there was a problem there. That is why when the issue of consensus comes, when we say that the Luos never vote for Raila, they don't come out to vote, that's a basic lie. That's a total lie. and it hurts me that we are propelling this media narrative that has been used so that to suppress the vote count in Nyanza. Let's not go there. So I was telling our guest that is a total lie. Luos come in and vote. You said something earlier which touched my heart, but later on you contradicted yourself. The suppression of voting in Luo Nyanza has been intentional and also a political tool within the media. For instance, schools open late, papers missing, frustration because all of the name starts with O. So they start by saying, oh, let's start with A, B, C, D. So O starts at 4 p.m. so that, in the end, almost everybody starts with O. So the voter frustration in Luo Nyanza has been real. So, but do they come out to vote to man? Yes, they've been coming in numbers because if you saw last election and something amiss was there, how do people come to vote for Anyang' Nyong'o Mo and don't vote for Raila Amolo Odinga? Does that really make sense to you? It doesn't. It does not make sense at all. That is why I was like, let's not run this media narrative that, the Luo Nyanza only votes 68%. No, that is a lie.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. I think you have made your point clear. Yes. So the voter suppression is based on the media narrative and the frustration of the political logistics. It's not about the vote. So people are willing to vote. People vote, but it's all about the media narrative and the logistics on voting, like the frustration vile umesema maneno na kupeleka polling cards, maneno na polling stations kufunguliwa saa 10, vitu kama hizo. Yes, I think that makes sense now. That makes sense. And on that, let me finish. On that, you remember 2008 or 2007 election for 2007. I remember because that election was really real, and because that time Raila and Ruto were together, I remember the votes was I was still young that time, but I remember the voting process was so smooth. They didn't have any challenges during that time. I didn't see any challenges. That's why the numbers that was displayed that time, Raila won by big time. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, the other media creation narrative that always baffles me is the Kisses vote 50-50. I'm from that region, and let me put this very clear on the record. The Kisses have never been 50-50 they are voting. If you look at Nyamira traditionally, from the onset of 1992 election, I was young then, basically joining Nairobi. And I will tell you that a lot of commands that we had towards the then opposition leader, General Oginga Odinga, was too much. And but Moi being Moi, he could not allow a situation whereby both Nyamira and Kisii districts give Jaramogi all the seats from there. So he organized with, Nyachae to make sure that, by all necessary means, it looks like 50-50. And this is the narrative that have been used, except this time around. Every time there's an election, obviously Kisi will lose 2 by-elections and will go to 2 seats, will go to the by-election, and those by-elections will be taken by the government. And that's a thin-veiled narrative that has really worked to lie that Kisi has been 50-50. I will guarantee you, like last election, Ruto could not see the day of the order of the day of 50-50 in Kisi and Nyamira. Kisi and Nyamira has had some bromance with Raila, not the Luo politics, with Raila as a persona. And I will explain this, people may not understand. The road from Kisi Jogo to Nyamira, since independence, Nyamira was more educated than Kisi County. But the people who came from Nyamira could not access Nyamira easily. Nyamira was a better T-zone than Kisi County. But because of the roads, the returns were so meager and their products could not be sold outside. So in the event of that, Suneka, Keumbu, Ogembo, and other areas from Kisi County were able to export their products like matoke, saga, sugarcane, avocado to Nairobi easily, while Nyamira remained. So when Raila became the minister for roads and housing in 2002, the first road he commissioned successfully was the Kisi Nyamira roads, which anybody who understands that was Daraja Moja to Konate. That gave Raila the love that whatever he does, that age group who understood the darkness of Nyamira that particular time. And that will give you the reason why many people do not understand why Kisis became diasporians. Because you are educated, you have a job, you have all the means, but you cannot imagine a truck or gari ya mchanga ya sand in Nyamira could be sold 15,000. But to ship the same in Kisi it was 15,000. To ship the same to Nyamira, successfully, it was going to be 45,000. So building in Nyamira was 4 to 5 times, more expensive than in Kisi town. So that opening alone of that road made Raila to be a darling of the Kisi people. And I will guarantee you, in as much as we speak about him, dishonorably right now, when the man comes back in the mirror and reminds us what he did to us, that age group that remembers the total darkness of Nyamira, I will guarantee you they will still listen to him. For some reasons that are not known, he will convince them. So this narrative that Kisi has been 50-50, it has never been. It is a political creation too. But when it comes to Kuria is 100% anti-Luo, anti-Raila. 100%. You give them a senator, you give them the deputy governor of Migori, you do everything you can. They will not vote for your candidate. So the Kurias have been 100%, 101% against Raila and also against the Luo people. That is the dilemma that the Luo. You remember when there was a deal between him and the former, what was this guy's name? Machage. Machage was given even a senator when he could not win. And then Obado was, the reason why Obado was never impeached was not that Obado was not guilty of the deaths of that. It was a fear that was culminating for the Luo people that if you take Obado out, naturally, Akuria will become the governor of this. So they had to protect their seat by all necessary means by saying Obado cannot go. So the hatred between those two is overboard, okay? So that one I agree that for them, 101%, they are anti-Raila and the anti-Luo. But when it comes to Kisi, it's a media creation. It's a lie.
Okay. Bwana Mbudi, I think that one is well explained. And then this this hatred between Kurias and the Luo community, is it cultural, political, or can it be explained? And can it change? Can they work together?
Who and who?
The Kurias and the Luo community. Can they work together?
These two people can never work together, my friend. You know, if you know, one of the things that Kuria had only one constituency. I think by now they want to create more constituencies. And there is a very insidious, how can I call it? There's a better term I can call it, but I think the term insidious would be much better at this particular time, because I don't have a better word in English to call it. To annex the Kuria region from Nyamira and bring it to Kisii County. I don't know if you have ever heard that. the people from Kuria wants to be in Kisii County, yet they don't have a border. So, I mean, they are love. They want a county, but they can't have a county. So the only way is that they want to attend their meetings and their proceedings in Kisii County. How, Bwana? I mean, their hatred is beyond and above. Trust me. To a point, somebody is in Eldoret but wants their county and their representative to be where? To be in Mombasa. Is that even possible? Because they don't want. So their hatred is that one that if you meet a Kurian today and you speak with them in terms of now politics, they will say they are the most unlucky people because how they found themselves in the border with the Luos, they don't understand. In fact, more Kurias of Kenya, they go to Tanzania to vote there. Okay? They even claim they are Tanzanians. Because they just don't want anything dealing with the Luo politics. That is how bad it is.
So maybe I can ask our guest here to kidogo Budi as we continue. Naona Innocent anatuletea mambo ya Kindiki huko mbele. Yeah, which is okay. Okay. Yeah. So naona unajua sasa hii story ya Kindiki ni noma because you see Kindiki is trying to recreate hii politics ya mambo mingi. So I don't know why Kindiki is trying to do all that. I think ndiye anatumika na Ruto. So Bwana Budi, can you comment about Kindiki na hiyo story ya kulipa watu? Nasikia leo amelipa watu na wanaimba one time tu.
I think Kindiki goes down as one of the most useless politicians ever. I used to think there were politicians who are totally useless, and but Kindiki's case is more worse because first and foremost, he's not a newcomer into politics. Secondly, Kindiki is a learned man. Thirdly, it's not just a learned man. Kindiki is a persona that is a lawyer and has taught law in itself to many performers, or we can say the legal fraternity, people who have made it in the legal fraternity. So when you merge the capability, the capacity of a man, it is an educational background plus how he's playing his politics, I think it doesn't make sense at all. You saw yesterday during that Yatta meeting, one thing that I was able to gather from there was when Matiang'i came to speak, he alluded that he's more comfortable speaking at that meeting because they are equals in terms of their vision, in terms of their capacity, and in terms of how they view Kenya as intellectuals. So he said, this is a forum, I cannot be castigated. And his words were flowing, and he even alluded that his name still remains to be part and parcel of University of Nairobi because of the shared vision. And I asked myself, can Kindiki claim that today? I think it will be, Kindiki has become a laughing stock to his peers in terms of lecturers and also
And Bwana Bundi, kidogo nikuongeze. You see, like your position ya Kindiki, even if it never used to be deputy, we also used to have a vice president. I think Professor George Saitoti was also in the same capacity. Can we even compare Kindiki with the Saitoti, the late Saitoti?
Saitoti was, but he was never a lawyer. Okay, what makes Kindiki is this is a person who, when it comes to law, before politics, put politics aside and put Kindiki here. I think among the gems, okay, mgala muwe lakini mpe haki yake. Among the gems we have, when it comes to teaching law in Kenya, Kindiki outshines a lot of people. So the conundrum with Kindiki is he's a man that has taught the very many people who are coming and telling him, you are doing wrong. Unaelewa? It's not like a mathematician who will come apige hesabu mbaya. You are talking about the legislatures who are telling him, you are not only a legislature, but you are also what? A lawyer and an advocate. Not only that, you have the legal fraternity coming there. You have, I think, in short, Kindiki is not comparable to anaitwa nani, Mr. Saitoti. Secondly, Kindiki is a man who suffered under what we call Uhuru regime when he gave this famous speech of teke whatever the Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah, so he understood how the politics of exclusion, the politics of lies can take out people from the leadership position through money and duplicity and start perpetuating lies. And he gave a strong speech against that to Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So to see him to be a practitioner today of the very thing that he prophesied in the Senate, it makes me so sad. Thirdly, the guy is not an entity. From his brothers and his whole household, this is a house that is a powerhouse when it comes to education throughout the country. So it seems like Kindiki has become blind and deaf towards even his family values. Okay? Because the guy is raised Methodist. He was not raised a charismatic. We have if Njiru today unaenda ile kanisa yako uliniambia you are a charismatic or you are what is viewed like a cult, yeah, then I can understand where you are getting your views from. The guy is not charismatic or is not come from Protestant, background. The guy comes from a traditional, solid Methodist, okay, a background. So again, from that backdrop, okay, of the good upbringing, because his story has always been said in the media of humility and where it comes from. So there is always a fight between a background and also now what? Association, whereby it has become contagious and is forcing himself to act badly. You can almost tell the truth that Kindiki is not doing this from his heart. Kindiki is being pushed to do this, okay? Because he doesn't do it flawlessly. For instance, I will give you an example. Even if Gachagua was to lie to us today, and he still does lie to us, it's only that we don't want to castigate him. Gachagua lies flawlessly without even you knowing. Kindiki cannot do that, okay? Kindiki, you will know that, Kindiki bwana, wachana hii maneno yako. So I think that is the problem we are having with Kindiki. Kindiki is sitting on the fence. And I think he will regret, because his legacy is at stake even before he leaves office. Kindiki knows for sure that he is not the deputy in the next coming election. Kindiki knows that. And yet he keeps on doing this. So why would he do this? I think Kindiki is a man under siege within himself. Nobody has put him in siege. So Kindiki is a man with war with himself. And it's very sad to see that. He will be worse than Josephat Karanja. That is what I say.
Sawa Bwana Mbudi, thank you. And let me engage our guest here so that I can now give both Innocent and John Moore. I'm happy when Innocent comes here, he will be able to give us the trajectory of Bwana Matiang'i, because Bwana Matiang'i trajectory is now increasing and forming. So nitataka pia kumuuliza maswali kadhaa. So Bwana Kip, let me ask you a question. I wanted to ask you about Kindiki and the campaigns which is doing, especially in Mlima Kenya, wanaziita empowerment programs, where they are going, giving money, mobilizing people, mobilizing singers, coming up with those concepts ya kusema Kiambu sio Mlima Kenya, like those gymnastics they are trying to do with the name of wanting to try and help Ruto to get some vote in Mlima Kenya. So question, do you think Kindiki will succeed, and do you think still Kindiki is going to be the deputy president during campaign?
No. Yeah, that's a really funny question, because what I know is as Rigiji normally makes a very honest answer about that. Rigiji huwa anasema use and dump. Use and dump, I think hapo itatumika vizuri sana. Let me tell you, if there's one of the honest things that I loved about Rigiji ni alisema use and dump na mambo na praise and worship. Unaona hizo vitu mbili. So acha nikuambie, let me say the truth. Kindiki ni praise and worship. Yeah, because Ruto wanted somebody he can manipulate. Let's be sincere. That's the truth. That's what I can. That one I agree with Rigiji when he said that he needed somebody he can manipulate, and it is true. He needed, because Ruto likes, from what I know or from what I've been observing, Ruto is he likes somebody who doesn't question anything. You have to be a psychopath. You need to be 100% psychopath. You see, and that's why he had to verge for Kindiki, because Kindiki is just an academician who is a very vibrant with he's a professor, he's a teacher, but he doesn't have that political resistance. So no, I don't think so. In 2027, on my opinion, I don't think he will go with him to the ballot. I think Ruto will have to verge for somebody else, because he knows that people knows that Kindiki is a weak candidate. He knows it. So I don't think so. To be sincere, I don't think so. He will go with
so
Kindiki.
Are they going to replace him? Are they going to look for a way to impeach him?
No,
how will the replacement be done?
I don't know what our constitution says, but I think once we dissolve parliament and they declare all the seats vacant, I don't know. Do they normally declare the seat of the deputy president vacant? Somebody should tell us, because I don't know what the constitution says. Once we go to campaign mode and the parliament is dissolved, when we go for the campaigns, does the sitting president, he wants to vie for the second seat, can he choose another deputy president? I don't know. What does the constitution say?
And Kindiki will not react. Will Kindiki not like now say now?
I think Ruto has to find a way on how he will fix Kindiki, give him maybe a very serious position somewhere, maybe a prime cabinet secretary, something like that. I don't know, but I don't think so. That's a huge deal, because even Mudavadi has lost. Ruto knows Mudavadi has lost influence in Nyanza. So in Western,
all those people will be replaced.
No, what I know is Ruto will have to find somebody who will give him a good public image on 2027 as his running mate. That's what I can say.
So, and that's why I'm saying, Kindiki will also argue, I've also done a lot of work. I've been doing with this with that worship for you. I've been doing.
Then, if Ruto retains Kindiki, then it will be going to be very hard on him, because that one will be a really good sale for the opposition to use against him, because Kindiki is a very weak candidate. He's a very weak, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bwana Kipe, because I can see some other people.
The answer is this: Kindiki has been played before. It's not going to be the first time. And Marshall's, Rigathi Gachagua marshaled the support he wanted against the votes that you remember the conclave they had. The person who won was Kindiki, but Kindiki was told right on his face, because Kindiki first wanted to vie for the gubernatorial seat. He was told, no, you're going to become the running mate. What happened after that? I mean, that's not the first time that is going to happen to Kindiki. And, the breakup ya kwanza inakuanga ngumu, ya pili kuangi ngumu, my friend. Hata ukibreak kwanza, hata uende through divorce, hata bibi yako akufe, those are minor things. So I think it has happened before, so they can do it again. And they have prepared him. They are preparing him. On the platform, you have heard them speak openly. Farouk Kibeta said, wanatafuta Kalonzo, and you have heard these people speaking on the podium, disrespectively, that, we are poaching for a deputy president outside what? UDA. They have said it. Farouk Kibeta is saying, and they're saying it in podiums where he still is, so they are preparing him psychologically. So that one should not be a worry.
Okay, sure. Thank you for that. So nataka kuingiza sasa Bwana Innocent kidogo. So Bwana Innocent, can you tell us about Monday? Monday munaenda kufunza Matiang'i kuimba?
Hi, how are you? I hope you guys are doing fine. Alex, Wairire Wakire.
Yeah, Wairire we are, but we are not gays, we are guys.
Nimesema guys. Hai wewe. Unasahau haraka bana. I believe you are doing fine. Let me start from Kindiki and the opposition. Let me start from Kindiki ndio niende opposition. Kindiki leo walikuwa na mkutano, they were launching the person who is going to vie
the UDA candidate.
Yeah, the UDA candidate. Now, since they cannot marshal the the crowd, walienda wakalete wakachukua
Want to compare GPT-4o, Claude 3.5, and Gemini 2.0, all in one
burst into life as the UDA brigade, led by Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, intensifies campaigns of their candidate, Leonard Njeru Muruki, ahead of the parliamentary by-election scheduled for November, as it was announced that all other candidates unanimously dropped from the race in favor of Njeru. Speaking while engaging with the youth and grassroots leaders from Beira North Embu County, that is, Kindiki lauded the youth for unanimously resolving to support a pro-government candidate. The DP expressed confidence in UDA's chances of retaining the seat. The seat fell vacant after Geoffrey Ruku was appointed Public Service CS.
Ambao walikuwa wanasimama wote wanane, hao ndio wataongoza campaign secretariat. The National Campaign Secretariat itaongozwa na wale ambao walikuwa wanataka kusimama na chama chetu, na chairman wao atakuwa Njagagwa Senior. Tutapata hii kiti? Ni fire si fire? Ni fire si fire? Beira North hoye!
Nimekubali endorsement yao na I will.
Sawa, mkereketo endelea.
Huyu jamaa anatuangusha bana. Fire si fire. Sasa hii ni slogan gani? Fire si fire. Anyway, vile mmesema, I believe ni Alex ndiye amesema, it's good to be a professor, not a politician. It's better being a professor somewhere else than being a politician in Kenya, because vitu anafanya, let me say this, huyu jamaa ni kama anataka tu kupatiwa pesa, ama maambiwa chukua pesa, fanya campaign, kula vile unataka, utosheke, because 2027 hautapata chance ya kukula. So saizi ndiye anatakikana kukula sana, that's why he has been given, ndio sijui kama mnaitanga money bag, ndiye anasibeba, anapeleka, anapatiana huku na huko, na azikule vizuri because 2027 hatapata chance ya kukula. So I believe that is the duty wamempatia, that is able to do that for the remaining 2 years. Now, in terms of picking the UDA candidate, na wanasema ati wanataka ku retain the seat. I don't know kama hiyo seat ilikuwa ya UDA ama ilikuwa ya DP. Ilikuwa ya DP. So when they say they want to retain the seat, wangesema tunataka kuichukua from DP tuipeleke kwa UDA, then ingekuwa mzuri, ingekuwa yani sawa. But now one thing niliona, hawezi kuwa na crowd allow mabuses. I don't know what happens to PS wa education. How is it that mabuses zinapelekwa zinaenda kubeba wanafunzi, yani not wanafunzi politicians, alafu na wanafunzi wanaendelea kusoma. Hapa ndio na salute Matiang'i, because he could not allow buses to be used to do other things other than carrying the students ama pupils from one destination to another. And you remember kuna wakati alikuwa anasema sikipatikana sikibeba kama ni watu wanaenda matanga ama nini, itashikwa, itakuwa bounded na iwekwa police station, the nearest police station, na headmaster wa hiyo shule atakuja kujibu. That was the then education minister Matiang'i. He used to perform his work well, and I believe Mombasa zimeanza kukuwa misused. Ukiona hiyo clip ile iko, jamaa walienda wakapatiwa pesa, after wamepatiwa pesa wakirudi ndani ya basi wanaimba one time. So you wonder kama jamaa walikuwa wameenda kuendorse huyu ama ni kukula tu pesa. Hata huyu candidate wa UDA I think ni pesa tu wanataka wakule government anguke, lakini atakuwa amepata pesa na watakuwa wamekula pesa. So hapa ni kufungua vile anaitwaje, Gachagua alisema mfungue hoteli. So mbele not I believe watakuwa wamefungua hoteli na watu watakula vizuri. On the same note, kitu nimeona opposition imefanya vizuri, especially Rigiji, kitu amefanya, ame withdraw candidate wa DCP, akawacha wa DP avae kwa Mbere constituency. Ukienda also huko Western, wame withdraw also candidate wa DCP wawachie the DAP Kenya ichukue, alafu DCP Kajiado, at least Kajiado ndio wamepatiwa, and that is what the opposition have done. At least wameganya viti vizuri. They are not going to compete with themselves on those vacancies. Wamejaribu kujipanga vizuri so that watoe mtu mmoja mwenye anaweza compete with the kama ni mtu wa UDA ama nini. So that is one of the thing yenye nimeona opposition inafanya vizuri, because they are able to kuachia watu wengine, hata kama DCP wamekasirika, but looking forward, by then ninaona hata Gachagua inaweza fika mahali aseme amewachia kiti either Kalonzo ama Matiang'i, in case watakuwa wameshika vizuri campaign mood ya Kenya, ama watakuwa wamekuwa accepted na Wakenya kufly the flag. So they are doing well, na Monday next week ndio maneno itaanza kuchamuka sasa Kisii, because watu wote wamealikwa, wakina Kalonzo, wakina Gachagua wanakuja huko sasa wapite kidogo, and that is when you will see what will happen. That is my update. Thank you, Njiro.
So do you think so Matiang'i atatupea salvo on Monday, eh? tutapata ile salvo ya ukweli. Sasa unajua tunataka ile msisimua.
Unajua Matiang'i, hata ukiona Sudi vile amesema, umeona Sudi vile alisema leo jana, Sudi alisema that the only person kwa opposition mwenye ana play clean politics ni ni Matiang'i. But Matiang'i akikuwa Ukambani huko, hata alisema ati unajua watu wamemkashifu, wamemwambia is not playing hard ball. So ni kama sasa wanataka aanze kufanya, na akasema ndio uliona alifungua kidogo. Matiang'i akianza kufungua utashangaa, but ni ile walikuwa wamemwambia kwanza ashike break, avute some middle wenye wako katikati, wenye wataki kukaa huku na huku. Akishaweka kwa kikabu ndio atafungua. Wacha kampeni ianze ndio utajua Matiang'i, who is Matiang'i. Atagonga vizuri, but staki saizi afungulie saizi. Wacha kwanza apoe. Mimi sitaki afungulie saizi. Matiang'i let me not use sitaki kutumia words za
So you mean is good in creating euphoria? Anaweza toa hiyo euphoria vizuri.
Nani Matiang'i? Au kuona Matiang'i vile alikuwa nabuza Ruto akikuwa vice deputy president mpaka aogopangi. Ni ile tu saizi anaongojea politics ianze, and that is what he has been doing. Amesema tu anangojea wacha ifike 2026 ndio utajua who is Matiang'i, ama wacha mpatie hiyo the baton, ndio mtakuja kujua who is Matiang'i. Hiyo salvo ataitoa paka utashangaa. Mara itakuwa ile dati kama ya Gachagua. Is not that dirty kuongea the things that it is. Sometimes he tries to, but he can do it.
Yeah, bwana Innocent, you know salvo is very important in politics. Unajua salvo ndio kika. Unajua without salvo you cannot have that political trajectory. So hiyo salvo ndio tunangoja. So whichever the date will arrive, bora ifike the right time, because unajua pia salvo ndio inakufanyanga, especially in a congested ground. And also salvo makes people to decide. Naona Rex Buda anasema ati what's that? So uchafu ni nini?
Njiru, give me a minute.
You know what dirty politics is? Alex, unajua mtu you know, unakumbuka Alex vile Raila alikuwa anasemanga ati umeshikwa huko chini, sitaki kuitamuka. Those are what we call dirty politics, yenye Matiang'i hatafanya ati tumemshika huko chini.
So unajua, and that's the mistake we are making. When we define salvo, I think the common denominator inakuwa Gachagua. For instance, I'm shocked. Innocent, I may use a phrase that I don't want within our coalition to use, kuwa haitakuwa dirty kama Gachagua. In one way or the other, you're saying Gachagua is dirty, okay? Which actually is not. Gachagua is blatant, and he has a way of bringing out things that traditionally some politicians don't want to muddy themselves into because of either their past or what they fear in the future. So I think Matiang'i is overrated when it comes to dismantling Ruto. I think I'm convinced to date that what I expected Matiang'i to be, he cannot be. So expectation is the mother of all disappointments, and this idea of postponing again those mother of all disappointments, it's even more hurting. We are hyping up people that in 2026 now Matiang'i will do what he's supposed to do. Let's not put Matiang'i campaign into death, because once that happens and he's not able, the way Wakina Julia used to put Matiang'i hapa juu, then naturally you are killing the presidency of the man. Acknowledge that the man is not a podium guru, okay, when it comes to standing on top of cars, so that people can accept the way he is. It's like Justin Muturi. Justin Muturi is just a nice guy. When given a microphone on top of that, he cannot function very well. But given a microphone, like yesterday when he was given, I think it's a soft lander and a smooth and a trailblazer when it comes to a certain class of people that you are able to convince. So Matiang'i is not a campaigner of illiterate people whereby they want to be hyped up in a market. That is the problem. Matiang'i is a hyper of a well-reasoned class like you and me. And if we agree to that, then it will be easier for us to take the message to those who are used to the politics of Gachagua, the politics of Ruto, and the politics that we have seen transverse our arena for a very long time. But if we expect Matiang'i to naturally fit into that kind of politics, and that is the undoing of Kindiki. Kindiki is doing what he is naturally not capable of doing, and therefore he is making himself worse and worse each day. Kindiki as a person is not bad, but Kindiki is using means to become a politician who he can never be. And if Matiang'i subscribes to that political tenant, I think it will be the beginning of his end. So I don't think Matiang'i is going to change by any speech or how he's going to deconstruct Ruto. Yesterday, he told us candidly, munataka, as Kibaki will say to us, munataka niseme nini? That was a good question. If we start from there, then I think we will be building Matiang'i that, look, there is nothing new Matiang'i will tell us. Matiang'i can only do what we will elect him to do. What is that? Perform and change the economy and change the trajectory of our politics. And that is why, if it is true or not true, I saw today a clip surfacing and trending that all Sudi saying that Matiang'i has never publicly in any arena abused Ruto. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if it's propaganda or not, but I saw it in many, many places. So, innocent, hiyo hype mnataka kutupea. Julia alitupea hapa mpaka ikafea. Don't make us ready for masturbation, political masturbation, and then mutoroke.
No, Alex, I think hujaelewa kitu nimesema. Nimesema Matiang'i is not a person mwenye atatoa masalvos kama za Gachagua. Is not that dirty. Hautasikia akianza unaona, unafanya mpaka mgeni
you know, ni kama mwanamume anaambia mwanamke, we ngoja nitakupata. So ana hype mwanamke. Wewe unaambia watu ngoja 2026. That's what you are doing.
What we are saying. Okay.
Don't prepare a lady psychologically when you cannot function, bro. Allow
Alex,
the Kenyan politicians not to go to that trajectory, because we are used to that kind of politics, my friend. So people will be expecting what is totally different from what you are saying. Matiang'i cannot function in that way.
Alex, that's the problem with you. Hujasikia kitu nimesema Matiang'i hatakuwa anatoa salvo kama za Rigiji. Is not that kind of person mwenye ataanza kutukana watu ama kusema, ama utapata akiita Ruto kasongo, like the other politicians wenye atakuwa ana play his game the way he does it. Na nimesema, but kwanza kuongea the ills of the government anaanza kusifanya from next year. That is what they have agreed. Wataanza because if they start doing it now, okay, yeye alisema akianza kufanya saizi ni 2026 na 2027 watakuwa wanafanya nini? So Njiru, maybe you'll be disappointed with him, but hata answer saizi. But he's not going to use some words. He's not going to use some words zenye wakina Musyoka wanatumia, some words zenye wakina Rigiji wanatumia kama kasoko, kama nini, mwizi.
Niko na swali kwa Bundi. So Bundi, you want to tell me that that kind of language, hata kama inaweza kuwa sio lugha mbaya, but the language of creating some form of narrative against other candidates does not work in the Kenyan politics. I think there's some extent whereby you need to give credit to that kind of politics, because you have to balance. Because sometimes you can be a very serious candidate hadi watu wanaboeka. Kuna vitu zingine zenye Wakenya wanapenda kusikia. And I can tell you this, one of the things that Kenyans like hearing are such kind of things, vitu zenye unaongeza chumvi kidogo, kuna uongo kidogo unaongeza. I think you need to consider too that at some extent Matiang'i ikikaribia election, he has to also inculcate and accommodate all Kenyans, because not all Kenyans will be able to understand the civic education for the transformation. Kuna Wakenya wenye wanataka kusikia vitu yenye ni exaggerated kidogo, and you need to accommodate such kind of population too. Not all Kenyans will be able to be as serious as you want Matiang'i to be. You tell me on that.
No, I'm not saying Matiang'i should not do that. I'm saying that the expectations that we had, and that was say that remember how he used to deconstruct Ruto. So if you ask anybody who has been in this platform, we had this notion that when Matiang'i comes, we used to play a lot of clips in regard to how Matiang'i could deconstruct Ruto, flat. There's a panelist in Sound Candid who used to say upper kick, So Matiang'i used to have his own upper kicks. But him having, returned the kind of politics he's playing, you can almost see that the expectations of Kenya, especially those who subscribed to this kind of politics, you're saying, were a little bit disappointed. And I think over time, they are coming to understand how the man is playing politics. I am not saying we change our politics. I'm only saying that let's not say that we ngoja 2026. Saa hii tumeambiwa tusipige siasa sana. We are preparing for 2026. So let's not hype that it's going to be of more different. Obviously, yes, towards the election, there will be more and better things that will be said, more especially on how to deconstruct what. But I don't think Matiang'i is naturally gifted as Rigiji, as I say, to come to the podium and say things, for instance, create a narrative like, hi, cousin, and it becomes a cliche. But Matiang'i is not gifted in that manner. So I think we must concentrate in the giftation of Matiang'i as a personality. When you saw him in the meeting that he was yesterday, he fits there naturally, okay? So what I'm saying is that we cannot stop our politics that we played for years and years. But again, let us not subscribe that politics and believe that we can harness Matiang'i into totality. Then we start comparing him and Rigiji. Why? Because we will be disappointed. So it's a give and take. So what I'm trying to say, my friend, is yes, Matiang'i will try his level best, but he will not reach the apex or the zenith of that kind of politics. He may try to add uongo kama Kindiki, na hiyo uongo yake inaonekana nje, out flat. Haisaidii hata kidogo. Naelewa, Rigiji can add his lies and it can, it's like a well-oiled machine. You wouldn't know when he's saying the truth and when he's lying. But he knows how to merge the two and convince you. If Matiang'i tries to do that, for instance, in the debate, in the interview that he was asked about the security of Kenya, said it's one of the most progressive security in Kenya, yani in Africa. And he gave a reason how, within 24 hours, we were able to get that terrorist attack, wherever it happened. And he gave how the capacity of Kenyans can do it within a minute. Then the journalist turned on him and said, then why didn't you do that to the Yala investigation? I mean, he caught him red-handed, okay? He caught him red-handed, lying red-handed. You cannot catch Rigiji lying red-handed, the way the journalist caught. And that is why I'm saying that we have a different caliber of politician who, if he tries to subscribe fully to the politics of which you have said, like uongo kidogo nini nini, you will be caught. And what happens when you are caught? Then you get confused, unashindwa to continue na interview, and then now the rest of the interview, you take the blame for it. So what I'm saying is that let's not expect that from Matiang'i. Let Matiang'i remain who he is. Hata kama ana add uongo, ana add where he knows he can prevail with it. Not anyhow, like Rigiji does, and then he convinces me. Rigiji has convinced me many lies that I don't want to talk about. Why he supported Kasongo, why he supported the housing levy, why he said, the issue of shareholders. He has convinced me all these bad things he used to say because he's naturally a gifted liar.
Okay, so let's move let's keep the trail moving. So, Bwana Innocent, Turia kidogo, let me have the ladies also contribute. So let's have Njerumaura and then Mama Nyakairo. I know you are following the, and then Bakaribu Sana, thank you for being here. So Njerumaura, you can do like your 5 minutes and then Mama Nyakairo akuja, and we keep the train rolling. Thank you.
Yeah, habari kazini. Nashukuru sana. Nasalimia kila mtu. Vile nitasema, msibabaike. Na kwa nini nasema hivi? Nitatumia hiyo vile Matiang'i alisema. Munataka muambiwe nini Kenya? Every corner. Ni nini munataka kuambiwa? Munajionea. Nikafanya hesabu yangu, nikatupa pesa yangu, nikapigia watu kama 20 people. Pale nimetoka. Kimani Ichung'wah is my MP. Na hawa watu wako huko Kiambu. Na nikwambie, yes, Kimani amefanya hiyo country pale natoka ikae better kuliko Nairobi. Lakini nataka kuwapee habari vile wanasema. Huyu Kimani na Ruto wataenda. Waliniambia 2022 Nyoro, Uhuru wataenda. Na ni watu wa vijijini wanasema hivi. Hii ni Kiambu. Watokangi huko kupigana na wewe, wakikasirishwa na wewe, that's the end of it. Promise. They like promise. Kwa hivyo nimekuwa naanza. Wamesema niwaambie nyinyi Kimani na Ruto is out. Nakwambia na ukienda huko Kimani amefanya kazi kabisa, lakini respect people. Don't do me favor to make me feel superior. Watu wajui Mount Kenya, wanaona tu wanarukaruka huko kuchukua pesa, lakini hao wanaangalia point. Doesn't matter what you done. Huwezi kunipesa kula alafu unanitukana. Don't give me. Hiyo ni Mount Kenya. Na sio Kiambu peke yake, ni yote. Don't lie. Hiyo pesa, Ruto alikuja na pesa, confusing a whole Mount Kenya. Wakachukua na wakamfold. Hata saa hii akija na pesa, wasa odoka. Wasa say no. Kwa hivyo hata mkisema, huyu anasema hii Kibaki alifanya nini, tararara, that is done. Vile nataka sasa Mkenya ajiulize. Yes, nani asafi saa hii? Everybody suffering. Everybody. Plus that, our children being killed. Plus that, our children being adopted. We don't know where they are until today. Plus that, Ruto ameweka group pale ati 2027 waache kupigana huko juu ndio uchaguzi isimamishwe. Kenya, wake up. Na ujiulize, what is problem? with their politician. Wamesoma, wanasema ni maloya, wako na degree, wako na PhD. What's missing? What's missing to you, wananchi? My answer is ni mtu wetu. Hiyo itoke kabisa. Wakenya nitawaacha nyinyi na kusema Gen Z, not millennial. They change and they go and change this country. Kabla sijaenda sasa nimalize Jiro, niulize your guest question. Wakati mlikuwa mnaongea nyinyi wawili, alisema opposition waanze kuambia watu watafanya nini. That's not point. Kenya is finished. You don't have to explain Kenyan what to do. Everything is mess. We are here, now we go family there. Everything is done mess. They doesn't have to tell Kenyan what they need to be done. Kenyans know. Ukiwa unataka watu na unapenda, kwanza love people. Wape healthy system na mashule inaendelea. Alafu saa hiyo wase kutengeneza majob. It's not happening. It's not happening. Kwa hivyo wakiambia huyu mtu tutafanyia hawa watu hii, Ruto ataiba ile. Atachukua hiyo na afanye. A confuse. Yarudi miaka ingine 5. Wakisema kitu tu, Gachagua alisema tayari na ni a witness that. Walichukuka Kenya mzima, Uhuru anawaangalia. Wanauliza watu group, wanaenda kila pahali. Ruto anaandika kila kitu, vijana, wazee, wamama walikuwa wanakalishwa chini. Munataka nini? Anaandika. Na Gachagua alisema juzi, ako na hiyo kitabu. Lakini wakati tulifika kwa ofisi, alisema ni tulikuwa tunafanya campaign. So he know what Kenyans need. So kwa hivyo hakuna haja mununue hiyo uongo ya Ruto kuuliza watu mutawafanyia nini. That is stupid question. Yeye amefanya nini? What he done? Ruto sio mgeni kwa hiyo serikali, alikuwa kwa ile serikali. Trump ameingia huko na ameanza kazi. Anapewa miaka ngapi? Ni nini anataka ajue kwa serikali? How long he been in there? So kwa hivyo hiyo swali muache kuuliza watu watatufanyia nini. Kenya inataka isapisho yote. Tuanze tena pale Kibaki aliwasia. Asante sana. Thank you, Jiro.
Okay, sawa Mama Nyakairo. Yeah, Kip will answer you after maybe the other two speakers wamesema. Mama Nyakairo, go ahead.
Yes, Njiro, I'm laughing because our lady Njero Mwaura, you called her Mama Nyakairo, so confused. Yeah, otherwise I say thank you for this opportunity. Nasalimia kila mtu, Njiro, Innocent, Njero, and nikumbushe jina ya huyu nani rafiki yetu
Leonard.
Huyu ambaye ameingia nyuma yangu.
Innocent?
No. Themba. Yeah. Sorry Themba for forgetting your name, but we are okay. Nasalimia kila mtu na comment section na Wakenya wetu pahali popote mko. I feel honored to have this opportunity because not many will be with us, and it's not that they don't want to be. It's just maybe some businesses or other things that they are doing. I hope how things are being done, very bad things. And I hope people are getting angry as I am because of what is happening in our country. We cannot oppose that our country is really damaged to the core. Na hiyo ni kitu ambayo imeendelea polepole polepole, and nobody is talking about, but only talking about how people will win 2024. Majambazi ambao wanaongoza Kenya right now, they are very busy just collaborating with the evil people just to see our country go down. Before I go far, Innocent, there is something you said about Sudi praising Matiang'i is doing not a dirty campaign. I would, with due respect, say this. I would hate very much for the Majambazi praising our people. Do your job, you being the Majambazi, wacha opposition ifanye kazi yao vile wako. Wakifanya ujinga, wacha wafanye. Wakifanya vizuri, wacha wafanye. Be busy on doing those damaging things that you are doing to our country. That praise is a mockery. I would say that. And hatutaki hiyo mambo ya kuchokoza kwa sababu there is no way even one time Sudi will praise anybody who is against him. And we are not being against him. We are saying that you are doing bad things to our country and you should vacate. Those are our terms. The other question I have with you, Njiro, is about the topic that you have put there, Ruto versus extinction path, something like that. Yeah.
A path to extinction. Ile inamaanisha ni nani atamaliza mwingine.
Thank you very much. Yes. I'll come to that point just this very moment that Ruto, ile mipango akonayo, if you look further, Ruto is not in peace with our country. Na ile mipango akonayo ni very lethal if people can watch. Na huyo mtu hata sioni ni kampeni gani anafanya. He's not campaigning, but he is making sure he has got enough evil people on his side, criminals on his side, terrorists on his side, so that he can thoroughly deal with the Kenyans. What he is planning is something that is very dangerous. Na mimi siwezi ogopa kusema. The other day, Murkomen alikanusha ati hakuna hawa Jubaland wameingia kwa Kenya, that they are going to do analysis. And you wonder what kind of analysis you are doing, being that you receive raw intelligence every morning, every minute. Na unasema utafanya analysis for what? Is it not a matter of emergency that you have to send security to take care of that immediately? He did not. But they have to analyze. Nikashindwa wanaenda kukaa chini wa analyze when people are being threatened, even killed. People have already overtaken our country, and yet they are going to analyze. What are you analyzing? First of all, do you know those people? Do you know where they are coming from? So this is a little idea that Ruto has. And this is going to happen that Ruto will use it in a different way, just to have him do what other dictators do. State of emergency. Because there will be a fight, a war between Kenya and that country, or residents or citizens of Kenya will face the war with those people who have already entered our country, and they will be castigating that this is our land, this is where we belong, because already they have taken the land. What are the people of that area going to do? That is their land. That is where they have been living. What are they going to do? If they start fighting back, there will be war. And that is what Ruto is looking for. Look at Nairobi, the way it has been invested with a lot of criminals, people who have got knives. running after innocent people. Now that place looks like Haiti. Now, what is remaining? Those people cannot be arrested, and we were told that they arrested 80 suspects. Who are these 80 suspects? How can it reach to a point that the city, the capital city of a country, has been infested by all these criminals? Where are they coming from? Why are they not ready to get rid of this immediately, like they did for Gen Z, killing Gen Z innocent people? So what I'm trying to say is that our country is standing in a very bad situation, that anything can happen. Anything lethal can happen because Ruto will not accept defeat. Na kwa hivyo extinction ya watu wa Kenya, labda ni wale wako nje watabaki. Ruto don't care. Hii mambo yote ambayo wanapanga ni mambo very serious for the country. Na watu wanashindwa, how can we don't have weapon. We don't have ideas how these people came in. How about the government, serikali ambayo iko kwa nchi yetu, ambayo iliapa itazuia, defend citizen and their country territory. Hawajachukua jukumu lolote. They are saying that they want to do analysis for what? Now that he has admitted, confirmed that this Al-Shabaab is already in Kenya. Now it's not Jubaland. Now it's being said it's Al-Shabaab pekee wako Kenya. Look at that. How did they get in? And do you expect those Jubaland to enter through where? People who are not even checked. People who are let to enter the country freely. Do you tell me that Jubaland, if they are good people, there will be no other criminals that will come to Kenya? That is how a country gets into a mess that is uncontrollable. Na mimi sasa kusema kweli, Ruto vile ameachilia nchi ikawa infested by these criminals coming in, they are coming in and out. Because how they entered, nobody knows. So it is going to continue bringing more and more in because that gate has not been closed. Tumesikia kuna KDF wametumwa huko waende wakachukue hiyo jukumu. Hakuna. Hatujasikia any emergency of that. So they are waiting for things to get more worse and worse and worse so that the declaration of emergency comes on. Ndio sasa aseme serikali imechukua jukumu, kwa hivyo sisi tunaendelea na kazi. And it is very, very dangerous because Kenyans are saying we feel pinched, we feel oppressed. Na sasa huyo mtu ndiye ataamuru ati state of emergency. Ndio sasa aendelee kuwa mkuu wa nchi. How do Kenyans feel? So that is my pain and that is my point. And I feel so sad because those things that Ruto is doing really can bring the country into shambles and everything will not be in accordance how the country should be ran. Na kwa hivyo, mimi I hope there are people who are watching all these things that are going on in our country. I believe that these people who are coming to our country, they have got normality. Kwa sababu ni watu wamekubaliwa waingie na serikali iliyoko. Kwa hivyo wao wanajisikia wako nyumbani. Wamesema ati wanafanya kazi na Kenya. Hakuna ubaya. Sisi hatuna ubaya. Sisi tunashirikiana. Kukitokea maovu sisi tunakimbia wote. Wakenya na sisi tunaungana pamoja. How comes? Don't we have a jeshi? Don't we have a military in our country? Don't we have forces in our country I have never even had even one time, although we don't know how they are being directed by their senior, whether they are supposed to keep quiet, don't talk, things are okay, and don't worry, I'll let you know when we can go. And so things go worse and worse every day, because I wonder, Ruto is the mastermind ya ile mambo yote inaendelea. Jeshi wamenyamaza, and he is the commander in chief. Who is going to help Kenya? Who is going to help Kenyans? Au Wakenya wanalia na wale wameuawa. Who is going to be their savior? So those are my questions. And zero extinction ya nchi yetu, ya Wakenya wetu, it is on people's hand. And if they are planning so just for themselves to live, to stay where they are and continue oppressing Kenyans. We have enough pain we have gone through. So we want our country be let free. Let's do election as usual, no changes, because that delay will bring a lot of damage in our country, because there is a plan to delay the election. But I hope our opposition people, they are ahead of the game. Asanteni sana. Thank you.
Mama Nyakairu, umemaliza?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, ni sawa. So Themba bwana, karibu bwana, go ahead. Kila mtu anatoa maoni yake.
Asante Njira, I'm a little under the weather, but I want first of all to salimia all of you, those who have spoken before me, and acknowledge their contributions. I am. First of all, I want to indicate that politics is a competition. Vile wanasema, I think it's in a Luya land. When you are taking your cow for the bullfighters will understand. However much your cow or your bull is not winning, but everybody tries to praise their own bull. Njiru, if you remember the bullfighting in the bullfighter Khalwale, usually gives us that sense of understanding. When you take your bull to fight, you have to keep on drumming up support for your bull, even if it is being hammered by the other bull. So what I like about the platform is that we are basically appraising our corner of the argument and the debate, which is good. I, however, want to highlight on certain things. One is that political competition is not like a church service where you do agree and certain things are happening. Politics is politics. And as you keep on getting so much closer to the heat and the kitchen, the heat gets more fierce. So the more you get into the close of the seats, the more you want the competition, the more the heat. Secondly, I want to disagree with a few things that have been pointed out. One is what Alex said, that Gachagua only says the truth, and he has managed to convince him, among others. But I want to probably reference him to the interview that Gachagua held with Okwara, the latest. Gachagua was put to task to defend some of his assertions, and he was got flat-footed. He couldn't defend some of his assertions, which for me, it blew the bubble that has always been held about Gachagua, that, he knows how to defend his lies. Gachagua cannot defend his lies when got into a point where he's being asked the direct questions, but he is good with propagating propaganda that is hollow. And that has been his undoing. I am just highlighting that so that even those who think that Gachagua is going to take them anywhere, they need to realize that his lies pretty hollow. He doesn't come out as someone who knows how to defend his lies. Someone has said here secondly about Matiang'i waiting for the opportune time. In politics, you don't wait for the opportune time. You keep hitting. And Matiang'i has come out for me as someone who is always lamenting. And he comes more as a person who would be better used when someone else has won power and then gives him the mantle to probably run a ministry or do something like that. But him at the helm or searching for coming up with a narrative that will get him to power, that is not working in the political terrain that is Kenya. In politics, you require a sense of people in their nature. The political organization and basically most people do not care so much about the truth. That is a Machiavellian principle. People will not care so much about you are saying the truth or you are saying that. They want to believe the things they want to believe. That's why, for now, all of us have come to a point, especially people from Mount Kenya, have believed that the only progress that was happening in Kenya was when Gachagua was in government. But as soon as he left, most of the narratives from Mount Kenya you hear is that things have stopped and have started going bad. Now, that in politics is good, but generally that is not the truth. Do we therefore say that only things were only going good when Gachagua was part of Kenya Kwanza? But as soon as he left, things started going bad. No, that is neither here nor there. I've heard someone here saying that they are going to vote out MPs, even those who have worked. I really don't understand. If you want to change Kenya and you're thinking that you can vote out an MP, even when that MP has actually worked, that in my view is a very interesting argument for people who want to change Kenya. Can you imagine someone, audaciously saying that we know that so-and-so has worked and amejenga barabara, but hiyo sisi hatujali, tutamtoa. And yet that person proceeds on to say that Kenya is doing badly, so we want to change Kenya. So the question that begs an answer is, so you are voting out an MP who has worked to take the constituency where he's supposed to be, but now you are voting out a president, according to you, who is not working. So the argument ought to be that if the MP is working, whichever side that MP is, that MP, if he seeks a second term, you need to give that MP second term, if it is development that you want. So in my conclusion is that we are pretty hypocritical in what we want for Kenya. At one point, we want development. At another time, we are voting development out. That, in my view, is very hypocritical and ironical. And the reason why I submit that Ruto is going to come because there's pretty much disorganization in the so-called opposition that want to vote him out. There's even today, when you listen to Kalonzo, the way he was talking, he's saying that we cannot keep on hitting each other when we want to be united against Ruto. Degwa Jiru, one of the lawyers who misled Gachagua to faint during the proceedings, started hitting Matiang'i. Now, when he was hitting Matiang'i, that Matiang'i is a mole, and yet they're supposed to be in the same bandwagon, that begs a very great question. Now, one other thing I also want to submit, personally, I want to clearly state I'm on the 2-term. So those who are in the 1-term, you might find my comments a little...
kidogo Bwana Demba,
Why are you stopping me? Why are you stopping me? You didn't stop any other person.
Unajua hiyo lazima niweke I have to put an exclamation mark ili sasa nijue sasa.
You are not listening to me, first of all, then you are stopping me, and I listen to everybody. Njiru bana, you need to tell me kama mtaki watu wa two term hapa.
No, mimi sijasema sitaki watu wa two term. Unajua ni vile they are so rare. Sasa unajua lazima ushtuke ukisikia mmoja.
Asante. Mimi ni mtu wa two term, and I want to categorically say that Ruto is going to come back because the weaknesses in the opposition. Current, there are things that like any government, it is the improvements that I expected. In any case, I usually say that the ills that are being corrected within 2 years, a government that has been in office is usually working towards correcting the things that were working bad in the previous regime. So I don't think that within the next, in 2027, people will be judging Ruto based on the things that they corrected. They'll be judging them based on the things that have been introduced by Ruto. And I want to tell those people saying that Ruto is doing badly. The common Mwananchi has access to affordable housing. They'll be seeing those housing. So you'll have to come up with something that's going to hit those affordable housing. People are accessing those affordable housing. Affordable housings have been made all over across the country. You will work so hard to tell people of Homa Bay that the pyre that was built the other day is not benefiting them. You will have to work so hard to give an alternative to the roads that are being built by Ruto right now. So the debate for you, I think, even as you are saying, I know there are people who are telling government is doing badly, Ruto doing badly. I think that is one side of the debate. There are people who actually see the government working. Personally, Shah has paid for one of my relatives who was unwell. So you will work so hard to tell me Shah is not working, because I have experienced a personal interaction with Shah. And there are many other stories like that. So I want to submit, Njiru, together with those who are pro one term, that you'll have to find a better debate rather than just saying Ruto is not working. You'll have to convince many Kenyans on the lower side of what alternative thing you are coming to do. I know someone was asking here, that Matiang'i was asking, that what do you want me to say? We don't have to tell him what we want him to say. He is the one who is seeking the seat. He has to decide, he has to craft a message that is going to tell Kenyans alternative to what they have right now. Now, I want to conclude by saying, Mr. Njiru, that in politics, especially when you are seeking the top seat, you surround yourself with lapdogs, the people who are going to be doing the dirty job for you, the dirty talk for you. That is what you're calling, that's a Machiavellian principle. If you read The Prince by Machiavelli, there's always those people who do your dirty work. As a prince, you don't do the dirty work. You appear to come and clean up the dirty work. What does that mean? It means that, look, I want to isolate. During Uhuru's time, the people who are doing the dirty work of talking a lot against the opposition were Akina Ruto and others. During Ruto's time, the people who are doing the dirty work was, if you can go back to those clips, you'll watch Ndindi Nyoro, Kimani Ichung'wah, Akina Gachagua. Those were the people who are doing they're called the front ones. The front ones, they give the hit very hard, and then Ruto comes to appear to give the other positiveness. So that even when it is associated in terms of the things that have been said, it's not associated with the candidates themselves. And during Raila's time, Raila, you'll find he was surrounded with Akina Junet, those other small guys who are the ones who are saying that thing. So he's basically coming out as a more of a unifier. Now, that has to happen in the opposition. If they are going to win, first of all, they have to come up with an alternative agenda. A narrative of one term. Even right now, if you notice, it has already started, the brakes have cooled off, because they go somewhere, you speak about one term, someone sees that they're coming from an affordable housing. You go somewhere, you say one term, someone tells you that Shah actually paid part of their bill. So you've got a lot of work to do. And to finish, I want to say Njiru, it seems that Kenyans don't really want change. Because if we were to want change, then we would be sticking to the constitutional provision. Now, the constitution gives the police independence. If there are insecurity issues, the person who is squarely supposed to be called by parliament to answer to that is the police IG. That is the person who should be summoned by parliament to ask him questions about security. To wake up and imagine we have not held the IG into account, and we are saying that because of that, Ruto must go. Even if whoever comes and we still don't hold the person, the constitution is still the same. We'll be where we are right now. What Kenya should be agitating is appreciate the constitutional provision. What is your MP's role? What is the president's role? What is the Mwananchi role? Is it right for an MP to come back to cry to you about all these things? What has he done in parliament to introduce a bill that is going to change you? In parliament, we have majority and minority. And all those two, they have their oversight role on the executive. Have they been able to do the right work? Have they called these people to account? Because if you are going to want change will not happen by changing the person at State House. The constitution is still the same. That's why I say, if you still have the same forest, even if you introduce different monkeys, it will still the same forest. So if we still have this perception of we can vote out an MP whether he has done good or bad, and yet we think we want something at the end of the day, we are defeating ourselves, in my opinion. So for you guys to remove, for the people who want one term, for you to be able to remove Ruto, you need to understand that there are so many other people and Kenyans who are benefiting from some of the things the policies is introducing. So if you're going to think that by 2026 is when you're going to start campaigning, or like someone said here, that just wait, you'll see Matiang'i, then I can assure you that by 2027, Ruto will win by 70%, and we will be back here in Njiru. I usually never shy to come back. I will come back. Like I said here, I told you guys that there's nowhere.
Okay, can you land? Can you land? We answer you.
And you guys are unmuting.
We are saying land. You have talked for 13 minutes. I'm watching. We have to answer you.
Okay, let me land. Let me land there. I'll come back. Respond to them then.
Okay.
Tulia kidogo bwana nani. Wacha kwanza keep a respond, alafu we will come up before we get Belfast there. Because unajua, I know people in Awe, tunaitanga AWE. So, and I want people to respond to their AWE. Go ahead.
No. I think it's good to have a contrary opinion. I just want to highlight one thing that Themba amesema hapo, ati Ruto amejenga mabarabara. Unajua, hata mimi natoka Nandi, where tulimpea 80%. Themba, ukitoka Eldoret, uende Kapsabet, hadi pale Chafakali, if kama kuna pikipiki inakuja hii side ingine hii, na kuna gari in the other opposite, you'll have ukanyage nje. That's a road that is, I think it's almost, it's Kapsabet Eldoret Road. Sijui classification hiyo barabara, but I think hiyo barabara it's almost iweke ni C39. And I can assure you Themba, hiyo barabara imekuwa ikipigwa kiraka na Ditman Construction Company since 2010. I can give another example. Ukiingia Chepteri, tukiingia barabara ya kwenda Baraton University, it is the only classification C road yenye bado iko na rough road past pale Baraton University. Ni matope kwenda hadi Tarbo. It is the only, and that's his backyard. I can tell you, if there are counties, najua hapo utaniambia sijui tuli-elect leaders, but he has influence over leaders in Nandi. He is the one who aliweza ku-oversee leaders wengi, especially kama Nandi's constituency, walimtoa Keter na kumweka mtu mwingine who favored policies za UDA. So when you're saying the president amefanya kazi, He has done jobs that are politically for PR purposes. Housing levy is not about the ordinary mwananchi. It's about PR purposes. There is nothing transformational about Adonidary Kenyan mwenye amegraduate from a university with a biotechnology degree utaniambia that the regime has fixed. There is no industrialization yenye alikuwa na promise ya kuwa itapeana kazi. Kazi sio factual about kwenda kufanya kazi ya mjengo. We need massive industrialization in Kenya. What you're talking about is just political narratives that are based on political tokenism, kupeana vitu. Hizi vitu zenye unaona yenye anasema ati let's do empowerment. You empower people by creating jobs. You don't empower by handouts. Show me how to get the fish. Don't give me the fish. So I think it's a rhetoric for you to try to justify saying he has done a lot of jobs. Let me tell you Themba, kama Ruta angekuja kwa hii serikali, kama mimi ningemaliza high school, singekanyaga university. I couldn't. With the current funding model, singesoma, singepata degree. I can tell you that. He came and messed up a working system ya education yenye ni messed up sahi. I have sahi, mimi nikiwa hapa, I have 3 cousins wenye nawasaidia kulipa school fees ya college. And they had A-, B+, na wengine walipata kuweza kuenda university. But fees peke yake ya public university ni almost 80,000 Kenyan shillings. Almost 100,000. So you cannot tell me that the systems are working. So let's be fair when we are trying to justify things. To me, I think there are some critical issues that he came and changed it in a way that he wanted to create a political, what can I say? Create a political image for himself to justify that he's really working. But the rest of Kenyans are suffering. Unemployment in Kenya is almost hitting 80%. In my class year 2017, I graduated with my first degree in 2017. Out of all those guys when you graduate wote, only I know 3 people when you wamepata kazi. The rest of the people bado wako wana, and that's class of 2017. That is almost 10 years ago. So you don't solve issues by he really needed to, he overpromised. That's what I can say. Ruto overpromised Kenyans in things that he couldn't do. So according to my checklist, especially from me, natoka Nandi, let me tell you, Nandi is pathetic. We don't have roads. Roads in unaongelea hakuna. There's nothing. There's no new road that's been constructed in Nandi or Uasin Gishu. Hakuna. We are still having the same roads. And those roads in Ziko, they are in poor maintenance. So I don't know what you're talking about. Ukisema maneno. We don't need housing in Kenya. Housing is for the private sector. Government does not build houses for people. Government ensures that you have the finance capability for private investors to invest, and then now they can be able to give people in terms of mortgage. So yote, I think to me it's just for PR purposes, to cloud your judgment thinking things are working. But to me, things are not working in Kenya. It's not. That's my submission.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Let me also chip in for mali umewachia. Temba, it's good to know you are in one term, and we at least in
two term, not 1 term.
So sorry, two term. You are a 2 term now. Some of us we are in 1 term, and let me just pinpoint some few things. Temba, najua umeoa una watoto. There are some obligations you're supposed to do to your wife and to your kids, and when you do them, they should not appreciate you for doing them. That is your responsibility of doing it. So when you do something to your kids, kuwasomesha, kuwaletea chakula, si ati wataanza kusema ati dadi sasa ni mzuri, and when you don't bring waseme ni mbaya. That is your responsibility. The president has got a responsibility to do to Kenyans, and when he does it, hatutampigia makofi ati amefanya. That is what he's supposed to do. And if he doesn't do it, Sasa ndio inakuanga worse when he doesn't do it. Number two, unajua unaweza kuwa na shilingi 1000. Okay, let me say unaweza kuwa na 500, upatie mtoto 500 alafu uchukue 1000 from that person. That is what Ruto is doing. Anapatiana 500 lakini akichukua kutoka kwake anachukua 1000. What do I mean? He gives us less and takes more. So there are things unasema amefanya kama housing. Let me give an example. Mtu akikuwa anasikia njaa, utampatia masomo ama unampatia chakula? What Ruto is doing is giving people what they don't need. That's what our guest is telling you. Manyumba, sio kila mtu anataka nyumba in Kenya. There are things which are what we call basic needs. I know housing is a basic need, but watu wengi wana nyumba. Hakuna mtu amekosa nyumba mahali, hata mahali ametoka kwao nyumbani. Na ukisema ati nyumba imepatiwa kila ati uende to Siaya, you go to Kisii, you go to where ati amejenga manyumba. Hizo manyumba without education it's nothing. Hizo nyumba without medication is nothing. Hizo nyumba ukipatia watu without employment it's nothing. Na on the same note ya manyumba, hawa watu wanapatiwa nyumba ama wananunua nyumba? They are buying a house, si ati wanapatiwa, they are buying it. If you didn't know, watu wanalipa pesa ndio wapate hiyo nyumba. So it's not giving us the house, we are buying the house, and we can buy it even from private sector. Hiyo kazi inaweza patiwa private sector, wajenga manyumba na tununue kutoka kwao. That is what we have been doing. Tumenunua hizi manyumba kutoka private sectors kila siku. Number 3, unasema ati we have to convince to convince you ama Ruto because he has been doing things ati hatuna kitu ya kusema. And this is what one time we are saying, we don't have to tell you what we want to do. We know what we want to do, and we don't want to tell you ndio uanze kusifanya. We are waiting. When we say that we are waiting to 2026 ndio tuanze kusema, because we know that some things unataka tukupatie mwa Kenya ndio ujue what to do. We are not going to tell you. One thing we want to do saizi ni kutoa Ruto or those MPs wenye wanasema. Let me give an example. Unasema ati kuna watu wamefanya kazi na unataka kuwatoa ati kwa sababu wamefanya kazi. Unaweza fanya kazi but umefanya kitu fulani. Just let me give an example. I was a fan a sycophant of Raila, but when he messed something small, constitution imekuja, devolution imekuja, kuna vitu amefanya mingi Kenya, but when he messed, nilitoka kwake na ni all the things zenye alikuwa amefanya mzuri zote they were eroded. Zote mimi nilizitoa nikatupa nje, nikasema so there are things unaweza sema, yani tunaweza sema ati Ruto amefanya, but kuna kitu moja yenye anaweza kuwa amefanyia wa Kenya, na hiyo kitu peke yake itafanya aende nyumbani. So hata ukifanya kazi mingi, hata ukifanya umejenga manyumba, hata ukifanya nini, uue watu, hiyo unaenda nyumbani. Maybe some of the people watatumia kuua Gen Z, inampeleka nyumbani. Wengine watasema education, mtoto wake hakusoma, anampeleka nyumbani. So even if you give them these other things, but kuna kitu moja unaweza fanya ifanye mtu akukasirikie na hata wahi kuforgive. So don't do things, but when you are doing it, the other things unafanya yenye inaerode everything that you have done, all the good things you have done. I don't want to waste a lot of time. There are many things I wanted to say, but let me just give a chance to other people to contribute. Thank you, Njiru.
Okay, ni sawa, that one is okay. I know that people want to respond, lakini naona neutral kwa hapa as well. So Bwana Mbudi, did you want to respond to them ama Bwana Neutral ongea kwanza, then you come and respond?
Let me respond quickly.
Okay, respond quickly alafu Neutral kuje. Na Innocent nataka kukuachia kidogo.
You can give his response na atafanya submission yake. I think there are things that are not worthy responding to, simply because they are not the truth. So I think There are people whose nature is brain you in an argument that is forthright. Yesterday, Madiani said, unataka uambiwe nini? So, that, as Njeru said, there are things you don't need to argue about or to be told about. So, you don't have to, force somebody to see that even the current model for education funding is not working. You don't have to beg somebody to do that. And to the aid of what has been said earlier, I will be sarcastical in it. Yes, things are working. Things are working. Homa Bay has built 2 airports. Things are working. Homa Bay has received compensation of the people who have died under this regime. Even the president has called, he has compensated a person, and he has even paid money towards the funeral. Things are working because Homa Bay has gotten a cabinet spot whereby the Minister for Treasury, the cabinet minister for finance currently, he goes to public rallies and openly speaks and says how he's going to give special monies for roads in certain areas, not to Kenya. Yes, things are working because we are seeing people like Orengo going to State House, people from Homa Bay going to State House, people from Kisumu going to State House for development. Yes, things are working. We can see where they are working. So it is not wrong for people to dance when things are working for them. Things are working because this is a friendship they have never seen before. This is the best friendship because it offers them the position of Treasury, Attorney General, Energy, gives them the seat to manage our monies in Parliament. So things are working, Mr. Innocent. So when you hear such things, you can always deduce from what Uhuru Muigai, when he was a president, he told us during Timama's presidency, nyinyi wengine munakunywa supu, sisi tunakula nyama. So when people are eating meat, na wengine wanakula soup, you don't expect the argument and the debate to go in the same way. And you don't expect somebody to say one time when you know very well out of this regime when they are benefited most. So obviously things are working in specific places, and that is why we say Kindiki is not going to become running mate. Why? Because for things to continue to work, a specific area wants that seat so that they can support the presidency. So are things working all over Kenya in a neutral or in an arranged way whereby everybody benefits? No. But are there places where things are working, obviously, to appease them towards the 2027 election? Obviously, right, Mr. Kip. So if roads and funding model is not working in your area, you understand why. But if people come here and with tangible evidence that things are working and in their areas, there is housing, there are roads, why don't you believe them? Believe them because things are working for them. So, but for us, where we come from, things are not working. Education is not working. Hospitals are not working. Roads are not working. Money is not being given to governors. People are not being paid on time. I mean, everything that actually we saw last time was working a little bit has completely stopped working at all in our areas. But obviously, you have seen one man go in one place in many and multiple times in one place to just do things. That is in Homa Bay. So if people from Homa Bay decide to support the president and say things are working, why do you refuse to say that? They have even received a state burial of a person who should not even have received a state burial. So why should you even complain about it? Things are working in certain areas, Mr. Innocent, but they are not working in our areas.
Thank you, Alex. Neutral, you can come in.
Thank you very much. I'm enjoying this discussion here, but I was a bit dumbfounded because it looks like Mr. Themba there forgets that in terms of elections, the incumbent in our country usually must win whichever way we like it or not like it. So we know that elections are rigged. I'm not a fan of our elections. So whoever purports to be the person that will be president in the next, in 2027, good luck to them, because we already know that we don't respect the constitution. So I'll put that aside. But when I heard you speaking about Homa Bay, which is the county where I come from, I was very sad to hear the things that you said about Homa Bay. Homa Bay is a public relations county. That is what Homa Bay is at the moment. We have a situation where county government officials, straight through from 2013, when Cyprian Awiti was leading that county, they built hotels and different things everywhere. And this continued even after Awiti was, when he served his last term. That man should have been in committee at the same time when other governors were being impeached. Awiti would be the best candidate for impeachment, and also to end up in committee. The things that man committed in that county. And then when we hear now that a new governor, Gladys Wanga, purports to be like the face of change in that county. There are some things that Gladys Wanga has done which can be celebrated, but they're not things that are kind of monumental compared to even some of the poorer counties. I swear, we have the highest mother mortality rates, one of the highest in Kenya. And when you go to the Homa Bay Hospital, you find that it is just a charade. That thing has just been painted all over, and when you go in, it's shambles. Now, I don't know what to celebrate there, because we even hear that the budget that goes into Homa Bay County is mostly from the national government, and our governor cannot account for what is happening within the budgets of the county. Now, you mentioned, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I would like to just point some of the things that Themba mentioned, that the people of one term will have to, convince the two-termers about things like, for example, the pier that has been built by Mrs. Wanga. That pier, that is a project of Uhuru Kenyatta from the word go. Most of those projects that have been done in Homa Bay have been done by the Kenya Defense Forces. Uhuru Kenyatta was militarizing construction work in Kenya during his last term. And Homa Bay was just one of those examples. Those things are just the remnants of Uhuru's projects. But to say that some kind of amphitheater thing, these things that the Romans and the Greeks used to build centuries ago, actually now we are sitting there celebrating things that have, that have displaced hippos and crocodiles along the shores of Lake Victoria. What is there to celebrate? Maybe me, I'm a bit mad when I'm thinking about these things in terms of our ecosystem. I can't celebrate that. What I want to celebrate is if Gladys Wanga has put a mark on education, on our hospitals, and the space by which people do business. If you look at this, for example, fish market that has been built in Homa Bay, it's a flooded place. People are just waiting for cholera the drainage system is complete rubbish. To think that KDF and the local construction companies built that thing, such a rush, so that they can please whoever is in government right now. You see, I want a situation where our county governments, honestly, this is what I prefer. I don't know about you guys, but our county governments, especially these county governments that still are, nothing much has been built in them. I want a serious planning situation where new towns mean something, but not something like you're going to Umoja or Umoja One, or these places that were really nice places in Nairobi, but now they're high-rise buildings, totally unplanned everywhere, right? I want our counties, especially the towns, to be seriously planned so that you can say, hey, this governor has done something and this is good for business. My last point, you see this celebration that we're currently talking about in terms of the allocation of housing to poorer people or social housing. It is known everywhere, even in Europe, that high-rise towers, high-rise buildings attract a lot of social problems because of the isolation, because of how these things are built, and also because of the way the high-rise buildings, attract crime. This is just a fact. I am not a fan of these high-rise buildings that are being, spread around the country. So this is my take about this discussion. I'm going to listen to it a bit more, but I think that it's really premature for people to just look at the populist things that are being done by a government and they think that everything is fine. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Belvas. Temba inaonekana ni kama ameruka nje. Nitro, it's good to at least to hear your opinion, especially ukitoka from the county yenye alikuwa anasema. Temba, naona unasema unataka kuingishwa. Njiru, wherever you are, Temba needs to come in. Please make sure that wherever you are, Njiru, mwingishe. Anataka kuingia ndani, ni kama amelirushwa nje. I thought ni kama alikuwa ametoroka. So please, Njiru, wherever you are, make sure you bring back #bringback Temba ndio aendelee. So Belfast, it's good to hear that ni kama huyo guest wetu alikuwa anasema he comes from where the president comes from, and huko kwao wanajua ama anaona things are not working, and for Temba he sees things working. So Temba, we are waiting Njiru akurushe ndani. So Njiru, wherever you are, I think maybe I was relocating to another place. So kama uko njiani Njiru, you can bring Temba back. So let me Belfast, maybe Njiru, if you're around, I can give you some minutes to comment. So sijui kama huko juu ulikuwa unasema unataka kuenda kidogo. I don't know kama unaweza comment, naona unmute. Yeah, Njiru.
Ile nitasema nitasupport huyo ameongea, anaitwa nani? Huyo ameongea kabla yako.
Belfast.
Intro. It's 100% what he said. He making sense. Sauli, kama sasa sisi wote tumesaidia Kenya, tunajua tuko na slums. Tuko na slums mbaya sana, kuanzia Kibira kwenda huko yote mpaka huko Dodoma pale ni slums. Kwa nini ajengi nyumba hapo? Tuko na slums. Murang'a tuko na slums. Huko ni mashambani, wako na nyumba zao. Tunaona ile mtu anakonfuse huyu mtu, sijui ni hakiri hana ama ni nini. Walai hata ananiuma. Ati mimi naona uko watu wanalala nje Nairobi club, nyumba hata ifai ikae mtu binadamu, hata mnyama. Huko ndiko angefagia yote, wakiwa analipa hii nyumba whoever who they pay, angefanya dira na hao wenye hizi nyumba hiyo, takataka hiyo yote awapee pesa, ajengee watu nyumba. I could agree with my patient to be salon. Lakini kwenda kujenga, anajenga Murang'a, anaenda Kiambu, anajenga nyumba huko. Hello, I tell you, Kenya tulitagua president wa kila mtu. Sio tauli ya Raila amekuja kunisupport kufanya to do wrong. Akitaka ndio uko maendeleo. Nani mkabila sasa? How he makes other people feel? Kwanza au yule mtu nilisema ati MC anafanya kazi na anajenga barabara na tunamtoa. I don't care. Last year, we said don't pass the bill. They did. Nilimpa kazi aende pale anipiganie na asikie vile nimemtuma. Watoto wote wameuawa na wamepotea, sijui wako wapi, wangekufa. Angekuwa huo MP Kimani alinisikia.
Njero.
Ingekuwa okay.
Kuna kelele sijui nini inapiga nyuma.
Acha niondoke hapa. Sasa. Sorry. Haya. Hiyo kelele imeenda. Ni sawa sasa.
Sasa ni okay.
Hiyo nasema ili ona kazini zangu. Mimi nitamuita kazi. Sorry you are. Haki, sio nataka tukue kama watu. Utu kabisa. Tujue kuko watu wanakaa maisha mbaya sana. Na nimetaja kila mtu anajua Trump. Wewe ama mimi ukiwa lile na 5 common sense, hizo manyumba ungeanzia kujengea hawa watu, sio kuradarada kila pahali. Hizo masaba anachukua huko anajenga viwanja ya mpira. Watu huko wangejenga hospitali ama ambulance ama kitu kingine. Sasa anapeleka manyumba ya high in the country na kuko watu wanalala nje na nyumba zinakaa kama choo, hata choo pengine nzuri. Hebu niambie, ungekuwa wewe uko hapa sasa na uko na utu, hiyo nyumba unakata, hata hiyo pesa sio yake, anakata watu msala. Lakini inafikiria is wasting. Angeonyesha watu Islam ameanza kutengenezwa pale wakae, ingekuwa na furahi sana. Lakini nasikia baya sana, ndugu zangu, dada zangu wanakaa baya sana maisha yao, na Ruto anasimamisha tu nyumba moja, na Uhuru alianza hiyo nyumba, alisema alifungua. Nani waliingia pale? Hiyo story is finished. Aendelee kwa slums. Alitumia hiyo jina. Wakenya wacheni kusahau. Wakati anafanya hiyo kampeni alikuwa anasema anataka kumaliza slums. Acha Ruto confuse you. Tu kumwambia aende anajenga huko whatever anajenga. Alitumia jina ya slum na watu wakakubali. Sasa ameanza kurukaruka business kila pahali anataka. Niambie wewe ni wa university, sasa hiyo mjengo yote watu watakuwa wanajenga for life. Nothing else. Hakuna kitu kingine anaweza kufanya. Alikuwa ametuambia hizi magozi ya mbuzi, ya ng'ombe yote inapotea, Wamasai huko ng'ombe siko mingi nini, na hizo gozi ni leather, nitafungua hii. Alifungua. Alienda kufungua ya Uhuru huko Narok. Angejenga bili kama hizo, sasa ni watu gapi wangekuwa wanafanya kibarua pale? Hiyo pesa yote anapea Kindiki wanaharibu kila siku. Na mmesikia budget. Nancy amesema. Mtu wa budget amesoma ile pesa Ruto wanaharibu na watu wao. Sio kusema ati MP ananijegea akinakaa paradise na wanakubali watu wa wao. MP tangu mwaka jana wajaye kuongea maneno ya Gen. They never talk about it. Na hiyo inaniuma, mimi ni mama. Inaniuma kila siku na Sunday wote kama sasa ni Sunday hapa wanakimbia kwa kanisa. Hypocrite. Ati wanatudanganya haya ni Wakristo holy. Mimi sioni kitu kwa Ruto wanafanya. He's playing game. He is not leader. So ever. Alitumia pesa kuingia na sasa anataka kutumia pesa tena. Tunamgoja. Hiyo tutakula na ataenda. Apende ajui vile anafanya. Mjue ile pesa yote aliharibu na Raila kumfanyia ile kampeni kupata hiyo share. Huko na watu wengi sana wangeingia hiyo kitu na pengine wangepita. Anachukua Raila ndio alimnunua kama kuku. Na alikuwa tu anajua Raila hata pita pale. Ndio sasa amuingize ndani. Hiyo ilikuwa plan tu. Pesa ngapi waliharibu? Kampeni Raila for nothing. Na Ruto chungula mjaja alijua tu Raila hata pita ile. Ndio asema okay, umeanguka hata kuja kufanya kazi na wewe. Hebu niambie hiyo parliament. Nataka kusema ati mko na majority na whatever. Si wote wako pamoja. Wewe mwananchi ni nani anakupigania huko kwa hiyo bunge? Sasa ni wabunge wanne watano. Hawana na nguvu. Wale wako na nguvu ya kusema vile unataka unaumia huko wamenunuliwa. Kwa hiyo bunge yote si ndio nimesema huyu mtu hakunisikia ule amelalamika ametoka akiingia asikize vizuri. Kwa nini nilisema yes MP wa Kikuyu ni wangu lakini ye amefanya kazi lakini kuko hiyo kazi it is must. Siwezi kumsalute. Hiyo ni pesa yetu. Hiyo pesa yake ametoa mfuko wakiwa na Ruto. Ile kitu tulimwambia afanye. He's failed. This is the point. Tumwambia sitaki kwa hiyo bunge usipitishe hii ni lazima asikize. Sio kuenda kufanya vile Ruto anamwambia. Kwa hivyo hata wakifanya nini hata wakipaka sisi mkate ya blueberry hata wafanye nini waende wote. Hiyo bunge is failed. Sasa hawajui kazi gani wanafanya. Na wanasimama hapa wanatuambia tuheshimu katiba. Katiba gani? Na waheshimu katiba. Hebu ona juzi MCA wa Nairobi. Nyinyi mnakaa huko mnaona Nairobi imekuwa takataka kabisa. Nairobi area. Atina tuko na governor anachukua pesa mingi sana kuliko kila governor. Hiyo pesa anapeleka wapi? Nairobi barabara zimeisha, hakuna mataa, wakora, nini uchafu. Na Raila na Ruto wana stop MCA job zao. Hebu mtaniambia nini sasa? Na MCA wamekubaliana. How? That is failure of constitution, failure, completely failure. Hata hao MCA wataenda. Kwa nini walikubali? Walipewa pesa. Hiyo ndio kazi yao. Wangesema tutaki kukutana nini? We going ahead. Sauli wananchi wanataka hivi. Kwa nini walienda kuzungumzia? Wananchi waliwatuma? Hapana. Wananchi wako huko tu wanalamika. Hii ndio point yule mtu ametoka ajue ni nini inauma sisi wa Kenya. Ni hawa MP parliament wasikizi, tumewaandika waende huko waseme tunataka hivi. Sio vile wanataka na Ruto. Kwa hivyo vile wanatuambia katiba na wafuati waende zao. Sisi katiba yetu tumeshikilia hivi tu na tunaijua. Siku hizi sio hiyo wakati ya Moi wanatuambia Moi nini, Moi amekufa, Kibaki amekufa, Kenyatta amekufa. Forget it. We're talking about today. Even we can't talk about tomorrow. Leo tukiamuka wajafanya hii, tunaongea habari hii. Ya jana ilienda. Waache kutuambia habari huyu alikuwa anafanya hivi, huyu alikuwa anafanya hivi. Wewe fanya yako tuone. Ikiwa mtu anafanya kazi, kwa nini watu wanalalamika bwana? Kwani alisagiliwa, sasa anataka kufanyisha watu uchungu. Sauli Mount Kenya yeye ndio alimsupport sana. Okay, nitaenda kusupport wale wa kunisagua. Everywhere, even Western, wako na opposition people. Wajai kushikana na government. Na kila mtu anafanyiwa kazi. Kwanza hiyo ujinga ya huko wananchi kudanganywa timukiwa kwa serikali ndio mtafanyiwa kazi. Waondoe hiyo ujinga kabisa. Waondoe hiyo. Inakuja kwa budget. Kila governor, MP, MCA, umani whatever, wanapewa budget kusaidia watu na kujenga hiyo mabarabara. Tunataka kujua hiyo kama hiyo marodi wanasema huko Usigusi wajafanya marodi nini Western whatever. Ule governor miaka hiyo wote walikuwa pale na MP pale tu kwa kazi. Waseme pesa ya budget wanapeleka wapi? Hakuna mashule. Nimeona watu wanabeba maiti, ni kweli huko Eldoret wanabeba maiti na mikono barabara baya, na wako na member of parliament. Wanapeleka pesa wapi? Dubai. Kwa hivyo wasikuja kutuambia ati lazima ukue kwa government ufanyiwe kazi. No, doesn't work that. Hapana, hiyo nimekataa kabisa. Na Wakenya waamuke sasa, na najua wameamuka. Nimesema tena, Kimani ndio ma MP. Na huko kwetu ni kuzuri kuliko Nairobi. Naweza kukaa huko Kikuyu naenda kazi Nairobi. Sasa hakuna tabu ya barabara tena. Lakini ameanguka. He's failed kukosa kusikiza Gen Z last year na kuwatukana. Na he never say sorry. Hata sahi si walisema tuwaue, watasahau within 3 months they forget. Surely I will never forget rest of my life. I will forgive them, but I never forget that they not going to be in the parliament again. They have to go. And acha niwachie hapo, sitaki ma MP parliament ni ya mwisho tena. Nilikuwa nimepoa. Sasa nilikuwa najaribu tu kupumzika, kupoa vile naona huko parliament inafanya kazi. Hebu jiulize wewe Mkenya saa hii kwa parliament, nani anakupigania? Hakuna. Ruto alikuwa anafikiria opposition ni Raila. No, not ODM. Kuna opposition. Sasa ako kwa katikati, ajui ataenda wapi. Opposition not ODM. No. Asikumane na hao ODM then. Na ajue sio wote wanakubali vile wanafanya. Sio wote. Kwa hiyo ujaja ya Raila na Ruto is over. It is over. Every dog has his day. Na ule anasupport hawa wataenda pamoja. Watu wanakufa jameni. Watu wako na tabu. Watu wanasema two term for what? Si ataua kila mtu sasa. Sauli anajua hataki kitu. Wacha asike adabu. na hii miaka 5 nchi yote dunia mzima ione huyu ni kisungu tu anaongea, ni mjinga. Acha niwaachie hapo. Asante sana.
Yeah, thank you, Njeru, for your contribution. So indeed, that is what we are saying. Whatever is doing, whatever the MPs, whatever the MCAs have done, if that was their mandate to do it, that was the obligation. Hiyo ni kazi yenye walitakana kufanya, na hatutawapatia ongera ati wameifanya. But when they don't do it, then we'll be on their case. I gave that analogy, nikasema kama watoto wako umewapeleka shule, hawatakuwa wanasema ati sasa you are a good dad because umewapeleka shule, but when you don't do it ndio utajua. So unaweza pata a family, you've done everything in your family, but ufanye kuna kamakosa unaweza fanya kamoja kenye hata bibi yako ama bwana yako anakuangalia ama watoto wako wanakuangalia, anasema hata kama umefanya hizi zote, but yaka kama kosa kamoja kamefanya, ndio kamefanya nimefanya kitu fulani, ama ndio kamefanya nimekuwa na divorce, ama haka kama kosa ndio katafanya mimi nisikuite baba yangu ama mama yangu because of kama kosa fulani umefanya. So Ruto anaweza kuwa amefanya some things temper wherever you are, but one thing, kuna kitu maybe atafanya yenye imekasirisha Wakenya, na Wakenya hawatamforget, wampatie hiyo 2 term, and that's why most of the people hapa wanasema ni 1 term. So Bella Fest, I don't know.
Ndio ndugu yangu, nikuambie mtu ako na akili sahihi Kenya. I imagine watoto waliuawa, wakuwa na vitu, wakuwa na nini, wamesoma, walikuwa wanapigania tupate maisha jema, wana kazi, wana nini, wameuawa kama wanyama. Wengine hata saa hii 86 sijui walipelekwa wapi. What kind of face? Ati Sauli sio mtoto wako useme kitu, hiyo damu itawarudia, walai itawarudia.
So remember, that's why tunasema we have a reason why we are saying 1 term, and you have a reason why you are saying 2 term. So we'll continue making sure that whatever argument we are doing, we are able to do it and give facts on the same note. So Temba, appreciate, of course, kama one of your relatives the share paid for them, that is the work of the government. They're supposed to do that, whether they do it ama the wafanye kazi yao yenye wanatakana kufanya, you thank and move on, but you should not say that you are giving them a 2nd term because your relative was what about our relatives wengine wenye waliuliwa, au utasema nini? Wenye walishutiwa, wenye wanaambiwa watashutiwa. Njiru, wherever you are, Temba anataka kuingia ndani na nataka kutoa maoni yake concerning all what people are saying. So please Njiru, kama umefika mahali ulikuwa unafika, please, kuna watu wako huko nje wanataka kuingia ndani. Bella Fest, what is your take? You can see even what Raila did for us, and that's why mimi nilikasirika na Raila. Nilikuwa nimekasirika na Ruto, sasa imefika nimekasirika na Raila pia. You can imagine in Nairobi County, MCAs wanataka kuimpeach the governor, and then the president and Raila comes in, wanakuja kusave the governor. What about governor wa Kericho? What about governor wa Meru mwenye alikuwa impeached? What about other governors wenye wako wamefanya makosa wanataka kuimpeachiwa? So does it mean that mtu akifanya makosa atasamewa kidogo, apatiwe some months afanye? So is it the same thing? Tunatakina kuambiwa Bella Fest, Ruto amefanya makosa tumpatie a 2nd term ndio arekebisha hayo makosa yenye naye? Mtu akifanya makosa, what are you supposed to do, Bella Best? Neutral, are you around? Kama unanisikia, if you are ready, unaweza ingia to contribute. Let me read some comments here. Resilient anasema Kibaki was boring to listen to. He was not gifted to attend entertainment. Was sweet political stories, but the man worked hard. We can decide if we want a technocrat to fix Kenya or a politician who entertains us. Gladwell anasema wana 2 terms ni commercial. Janet anasema anyone happy in Kenya is because of blood-based. That is what he's saying. Resilient. It's not hard to figure out. Temper is here selling KK narratives. Any sane person cannot claim that SHA is working, not unless you live under a rock. So those are, Temba, wherever you are, those are some of the comments watu wanafanya. Maybe you can keep on chatting with them hapa Temba, because ni kama Njeru hajafika mahali alikuwa anafika, ndio login ndio kuweka kurudishe, so that you can answer. You are saying you want to answer the panels wenye wameongea juu yako. So Bellafest, if you are ready, just unmute yourself. Nitakuona umeunmute ndio nijue you are around, so that you continue contributing. Bellafest, kama uko. So this is what we are saying, na tunaendelea kusema that especially what we've seen happening in different counties. Tumeona some of the counties have been given more than other counties. It's because they are supporting it, and some of the people wenye walikuwa opposition, especially wakina anaitwangaje huyu wa energy Wandani, these days you can see him being the choir master, hata ndiye amekuwa instructor wa KK, na hao ndio watu walikuwa wanaongeanga vibaya. Wakina Mbadi ndio walikuwa wanaongeanga vibaya juu ya this government, but now since wako on the table eating, they forget, and that is exactly what even Raila has done. Ameingia naye ameanza kula na amekuja kurealize kumbe hii kukula ni mzuri. Utaendelea ukiongea yani ukising the music vizuri, ukiblow the trumpet, utaendelea kupatiwa chakula vizuri, utaendelea kukula kwa meza. And this is what Bellafest was telling us, that ama Alex alikuwa anatuambia that some of these counties are benefiting not because maendeleo inapeleka huko ama hawa Kenya wanataka maendeleo, but it's because those counties ama those governors are singing the Ruto's tune, and that's why they are able to go there. Now, Temba, this is what I want to tell you. There are no people who are in the government na wengine who are not in the government. Once the government is formed, every Kenyan must be in the government. So every development should be done in every sector, every area or every region in Kenya. People are supposed to be given, because each and every person, county is paying taxes. Every individual is paying they are paying taxes, and they are supposed to get medical cover, those SHA services. But you find that some of the people, nimeona some clips going around, some of the people walikuwa nasema that hii SHA wamelipa, but cancer wakienda kwa hospitali wanaambiwa pesa zenye walikuwa wamelipa zishatumika, so they cannot pay ama they cannot be hawezi tibiwa juu sasa pesa zenye walikuwa wamelipa ama the services zenye walifanyiwa first the first few days ama months, hiyo pesa imetumika imeisha. And this is my question, Temba, wherever you are, kama mtu amelipa some money ama is supposed to cover hii SHA na pesa yake maybe imetumika imeisha, so does it mean that kama hujapona you will not be treated because ile pesa ulikuwa umelipa imeisha? Then it means we are paying for this this medication, we are paying for it. People are supposed to be treated. And let me say this, if I was the president, there are some key things, some things that I will want to do to make sure that Kenya runs well. Number one ni kama hiyo maneno ya maugonjwa kama kuna watu hii Kenya who are not able to facilitate ama to pay for their victims wenye wanaugua magonjwa fulani, they are supposed to be supported because they are not able to pay it. Let the government take hiyo jukumu, wawalipie, wawapeleke. Nimeona watu wengine hata wakisema that jamaa wao alipelekwa Osi akaambiwa now they cannot do it in Kenya, lazima apelekwe India and they don't have money and they have to. Why then hii pesa yenye wanasema ni empowerment, mbona wasitumie that empowerment waseme one of the thing I want to do as a government, kuna wale watu wote wenye wako na magonjwa yenye iwezi tibiwa, nataka wote wajiandikishe mahali tuwachukue, and one of the empowerment we are going to do is to treat these people, wawapeleke wote, washike wote, wapeleke kama ni India ama wapeleke to places where they can be treated, and awalete na waseme this as a government, this is what we have done in kwa health. Wanasema kama ni watu wenye education wenye hawezi jilipia ama wenye hawezi afford kulipia masomo, waandikishwe chini, wapelekwe, wasema as a government in education this is what we did. Tulipata kuna watoto wenye wangeweza kulipa, tukawachukua na tumewalipia. These are the things that we have done. Wanaenda kwa another ministry ama institution, wanaangalia what can ama is not doing well, wachukue. They can be taking just a sample of those issues, Sio kila mtu in Kenya ako mgonjwa, sio kila mtu in Kenya anataka education, sio kila mtu in Kenya anataka chakula. So you just pick a certain sample of people on every issue and you do it, and you can use that as a marking scheme for your 2027. Ndio nasema mimi kama ningekuwa president, those are the things naweza taka kufanya. Bella First, I'm still waiting for you. I don't know whether you are around. Bella First,
Wacha nikurudishie hiyo, hajakuwa pale. Wacha niseme, hebu niambie, tuko na wanyanya wako huko vijijini, wengine wako na wajukuu, watoto wao mama zao walikufa, na hiyo ndio nimefuatilia sana. Wanaambiwa walipe hiyo, saa wataweza? Huyu ni nyanya mzee anakaa pale na wajukuu, ana pesa hata ya shule ana, atatoa pesa wapi? Na ile kitu ingine nataka kuweka, nilikuwa nasema Raila namjua sana sana, watu wakaniingilia alafu wakapoa. Niseme hii, unaona wakati tunasukuma mchungu atoke, wakati ya Maumau, ingekuwa Raila ndio angekuwa Kenyatta Jomo, angeambia Dedan Kimathi wacha tu be, mchungu angekuwa tu huko. Mimi ndio nimeangalia sahi. Sauli Raila angeenda Kimathi, angeenda kwa Kimathi amwambie hey, wacha tu have a dialogue, wacha tuongee, wacha na yeye pita. Mchungu angekuwa tu Kenya. Hivyo tu, hapo ndio nimeweka Raila sahi. Wakati amekataza hao MCA wafanye kazi yao, na watu tu wanaamini Raila. na wanasema ati alikuwa anawapigania. Mtu asimame hapa aseme ni nini Raila asa apigania huko peke yake wakasaidika nini? Ini kupigana tu kufanya kuita hii Mugeki wote, Sauli anakuanga na Mugeki, grupu ya Mugeki huu Maina ako nyuma ya Raila all the time, wakifanya kuharibu huko, anaitwa kwa serikali, anaacha hawa wajika wote kwa barabara ha? Na hii ndio watu, sijui hawa watu wamerogwa ama ni nini, waoni kwa nini watu wanataka kukaa maisha mbaya slums? Why? Since I was born, I never want to live life like that, the way Kenya living today. Ndio nilisema ni lazima nizae nikijua nitaweza, wale watoto nitaweza. Vile naangalia watu wanasumbuka huko, watoto wao wanatumiwa. Ukiona zile nyumba wanalala wako huko slum, na wanafuata huu mtu ati baba ya nini? Hii inaniuma kweli. Sauli, sasa nimefungua macho, mimi niko nje, mimi najua sheria. Ile system ilikuwa pale ya masomo na healthy, Ruto angeongeza pesa pale, atengeneze, afunge ile kuibiwa, aweke hiyo system anataka, lakini sio kutupa, na aweke system zake na ifanye kazi. Hiyo saa kwanza mjue ni huyu Duale alisema pesa imeibiwa, ifanye kazi. Sasa anafuatilia magavana ati walete system nyingine. System gani? Awachana na magavana wafanye, wanalamika. Akiwa gavana analalamika tuna pesa. Mimi ni nani niseme ati saa inafanya kazi? Mimi ni nani? Unajua, nitasema kama wewe. Ningekuwa president sasa nisaguliwe 2027. Kuanzia kona yote ya Kenya. Ule wote angekuwa sijui ni miaka 5, miaka 10, governor, MP, MCA, whatever ilianza, wote na walete kwa koti. Waseme ikiwa hakuna mashule na hakuna hospitali huko. Sauli naona Tharaka Nithi shule na Kindiki anatuambia nyenye hapa. Mimi ningewaleta wote kwa kazi. Waseme hii pesa wote wanagayo. Budget yote kila governor anapewa pesa. MP wanapewa pesa zao. Kwa budget. Wasafanya nini? Hakuna mabarabara, hakuna mashule, hakuna hospital. Watu wanateseka kweli. Ati watu wanasekelea Tanzania hata tafadhali. Hiyo pesa wasema wanapeleka watu na wanafanya nini naye? Budget, kila budget government, kama vile umesema, kila mtu wote government, doesn't matter gani ikisaguliwa, kila mtu ako huko. You don't have to, you opposition, to join government because you have your budget, you will be given. Unataka kuniambia serikali inasaguliwa ati budget wanatengeneza kwa wale watu tu MP wako kwa government? No way. Wanafanya nini na hiyo pesa? Hivyo ndio tunataka president ule akikuja aende back. Angalie kila area, mashule hiyo ya matope nini, watoto wanasomea under 3. Walikuwa wanafanya nini na hii pesa? Wote wako jela. Mimi ingekuwa huko, nichaguliwe, ndio watanitambua. Watajua ajui. Sauli wanafikiria ni wajaja sana. Ona hii pesa yote anaharibu na Kindiki, kila pahali wanaenda ni pesa wanaharibu. Hiyo pesa inatosha kuweka kwa hospitali, hata mtu asilipe kitu. University waendelee vile walikuwa wanakopeswa pesa, wanapewa pahali ya kulala, waendelee na masomo zao. Hebu imagine Kenya government today, Ruto government, wajui wako na mashule gapi kwa Kenya, na wajui wako na student gapi, na wajui wako na hospitali gapi. Hiyo ni government gani? Wajui. Hivyo ndio Duale anatuambia Hiyo pesa walikuwa wanatuma kwa hizo hospitali ghost iko wapi? Walikuwa wanatumia nani? Tuwarudishe kwa hiyo account, tuwaende tu kwa ile account waliweka hiyo pesa, warudishe please. Hawa watu wanatubeba ufala sana, wako na pesa mingi sana ya kuharibu, wanaharibu pesa mingi sana. Ruto hajawahi kuacha kufanya campaign. Amefanya miaka 5 na Uhuru na sio anaendelea tu. Ungekuwa wewe ama mimi na ujue wewe ndio umechaguliwa, wako kazini, wamepewa kazi, wanabishana na opposition ya nini? Kwa nini wanakibishana na opposition? Opposition hakuna pesa wanapewa na watu wanawafuata tu one time. Wanakibishana yao kwa nini? Na wako kazini, wameandikwa na Wanjiku. Wivu na jealous. Hii jealous ya Ruto ni mbaya sana. Na anaongea uongo, anasimama kwa gari kila siku, anasimama ya nini? Hii kutembea wote wanaenda Dubai, wanaenda overseas ya nini? What for? Ona ile pesa yote imehesabu, wanaharibu travel na watu wanakufa na tabu, hakuna kazi, hakuna daktari, hakuna nini, hakuna madawa, hakuna shule, hakuna haki. Wale watu haki wana support sijui ni nini, sijui hao wamekaa wapi ama wanakaa na Ruto. Hii ni ile watu wa Kenya waache kuacha hii ati mtu wetu. They have to stop this. Mtu wetu ni ya nini? Hata ule mtu una support ajue wewe ni nani. Ati unapewa 500 unauza ichi yako 5 years. Ujinga gani? Hebu ona kwanza example. Wakati Rigiji alikuwa anakuja, au guns tayari kumeambiwa ni ya wa Ruto wa Raila wampiga huu kijana huu Godho. Ona vile anaumia sasa, ako kwa kitanda, hata hawezi hospitali, na alipigwa na watu wao. Alisema mimi nawajua wote hao ni Wajaluo walinipiga. Why? Walimpigia nini? Amekula kitu ya mtu? He did his choice. Sauli wanataka kuonyesha watu hakuna ukabila Kenya. Yeye anajiita Kikuyu hata jina, lakini Mjaluo kabisa. Ona vile anaumia sasa, si yako kwa media, anataka kusaidiwa. Sasa wangemuua, wanasaidika na nini? Saa hizi wako huko tu kwa slums, wale wanatumiwa na politician. Unaua ndugu yako ule mnakula na yeye jirani yako, sauli ya ujinga. Hii ujinga ni lazima iishi. Na watu wanabebwa na Raila ni lazima wafungue macho ama watachomwa na Wakenya. Sauli ndio wanaangaisha Gen Z. Kila pahali Gen Z wakianza kumove on, wanaangaisha Gen Z. The days is counted. It's numbered. The days is coming. Watasimama na Wakenya wafuate ule wanataka, lakini waache kupiga watu wale wengine. Huu Godho ameniuma sana vile huu kijana ana maneno, anaongeaga ukweli yake, na ni kabila yake karibu imuue sasa. Ana kazi, ana nini? People be same na wache ujinga. Na ndio unaona Kenya never move on. Shauri ya watu wengine wafikiri, they realize after done. Sasa anajua hiyo majina yote, na akisaidika awalete kwa justice, watafanya nini? Na true story ni hao walimpiga, na polisi wanajua, wasiki hao. Angekuwa ni yeye angekuwa ndani saa hii. Anyhow, maneno iko Kenya, mi nasangaa sana na watu wa Kenya, inanishangaisha sana sana sana. Kila mtu anajua tuko na tabu, kila kona Kenya iko na tabu. Sasa hata Ruto anaingia kwa ndege anaenda huko huko Nyanza kila siku. So what? Hakuna maskini. Wako na kazi wote. What? Hao ni watapeli. Hiyo ni baya sana, na hiyo wanaita watu wengine wa ukabila. Hao ndio ukabila. Vile wanafanya. Kwanza huyo Ruto uone huko kwao hakuna barabara. Ona huko Kindiki watoto wanasoma shule ya matope, hata sio shule, sijui ni nini. Ni nyumba ya ng'ombe, na ndio wanaita watu wengine wa kabila. How long they been in the government? Kindiki alikuwa center, alikuwa anapigania nini nchi huko kwao? Ruto amekuwa hata MP. Ona kwao anaita watu wengine ati ni wa kabila. Wa kabila nini? Kwanza hiyo jina sitaki kusikia. Mkenya mjue jirani yako sio kabila yako. Ni mama yako na ndugu yako, jirani yako. Mwache kusanganyikizwa na huyu Ruto. Akileleleka hivi kwa gari anaenda kwa nyumba, kwa state house anakula. Wewe utaitisha jirani yako sumu ama sukari. Mjijue kabisa vile Uhuru alisema. Mwache kufuata politician. Jirani yako ndio mama yako. Na nimesema hivyo kwa hiyo kijana amepigwa, huyo Godho. Amepigwa na watu wanajua kabisa. Ani kabila zake. Sauli ya ujinga. Hii inauma sana. Inauma sana. Ni maneno mingi sana naweza kusema Ruto amefanya na kudanganya watu. Wasichana wote walikuwa wameuawa, wametolewa huko kwa Kwale. Kwa dem. Tulidanganywa tu na kijana walirogota hapo. Ni hao waliwaua tu. Ati ametoroka kwa polisi. That's the end of it. It's 1 year ago. Wasichana wamepotea hivi. Tujaambiwa kitu ingine. Watu wanafikiria sisi wote ni mafala. Tuna akili yetu ndio yako, tuna PhD. Tujasoma sisi. Ndio alikuwa anatukana sisi tujui ati tunapigania kiwanja ya ndege na tujai kwa nyanga. Mjinga Ruto. Kwa hivyo ni mambo mingi tunaweza kusema, watu waache kusahau vile Ruto amefanya hii. That 2 years is enough. Sijui 3 years, that's enough. Kwanza kuua, hiyo ndio inatuuma sana. Nimeona hapa mtoto ameumwa na ubwa, alikuwa anatembea kwa jirani akaumwa na ubwa. Minutes alikuwa kwa news, 1 minute. Na hiyo ubwa ikauawa. Attack by dog. Na minutes ndio alikuwa wa kwanza kutoa news. Hiyo dog iuawe na huyu mwenye dog apelekwe kotini. Aseme kwa nini yako kujua dog yake iko na ugonjwa ya kunuka damu. Na huko watu sio mmoja hata mbili, ni milioni na milioni wanakufa, na president say no word. He doesn't care. Sijui kana anakunywa damu ya watu ama ni nini. Watu wanakufa kesho na kesho, every day. Na asemi hata kitu. Ona huyu kijana alikuwa anatega huko Lake Nakuru. Witness ametokea. Akasema vile hawa watu walifanya. Askari. Ruto hajasema kitu. Ni uongo tu tunapatiwa hapa, wengine wanajipigisha kichwa kwa seo, wanajiua. Yaani hawa wanaua. This is serious. Huo mtu alikuwa anasema Ruto. We looking about human life. That's very important. Aliswea huko Kasarani atalida Mkenya na hiyo katiba. Naye ndiye anaua. Kwa hivyo tutaki hata akijenga nyumba ya ghorofa, atujengee barabara za ghorofa, he have to go. Tutaki muuaji na mwizi. We don't want. Kama sasa Wakenya tujui hii election amepanga nini na Somalia au ameweka huko, wakitoa maguo na wafaa vile wanafaa, wanaongea lugha moja na borana zetu. Wanaweza wanatoa hiyo maguo ya uniform wanasaganya na hawa wa Mandera, wanateremuka mpaka Nairobi, na unajua tu ni majeshi criminal wanaua watu, wanakaa Nairobi. Tunajuaje? Na border is open. Na hiyo sio kazi ya Murkomen, awache ujinga. Hiyo ni Kenya Army, they should action. Sasa wanaweka mchana huyu kama sai anaongea hiyo baba, anajua nini huyu? What he know? Huwa ako na nguvu ya kutawala haya majeshi hao. Kazi zingine sio ya mwanamke tafadhali. Wote wamekomeshwa kabisa, na wanaona nchi inamwagika damu, inakuja kumwagika damu, na wajali wanafaa mmoja mmoja, wanafaa kama borana zetu. Tuko na borana, watu wanaongea kama Wasomali wako huko, wanafaa mmoja mmoja, wanapadilisha uniform, wanateremka. Kampeni itakuwaje? Acha niwachie hapo.
Yeah, thank you Njiru. Neutral, sijui kama uko still around. Let me know if you are still around ama unasikiza huko nyuma. But let me say this, what a comment. I appreciate you. I can see what you're doing. Akina Janet Gladwell, sijui kama huyu Kenyan democracy ako Njiru. Kuna watu walikuwa wanataka kuingia, uliwarusha nje, wamejaribu kuingia mpaka wamechoka temba, wanted to rebut. Alex wanted also to say something, angeweza kuingia juu huku waingisha ndani, so I don't know. So wakina Gladwell, naona unasema history repeats itself, wameshika. Naona Jenny tunasema asante Mungu, Raila hatawahi kuwa president Kenya, pengine next life. Naona Jenny pia huko juu umeandika, umesema that 207 the right people wangevaa kuwa ICC ni Ruto na Raila. Naona comment zenu naziona, mnaendelea vizuri. Gladwell, naona unasema Nairobi County being the capital city of our beloved country, it serves every citizen. It's really sad. Hii ni ile mambo yenye Raila walitufanyia hii wiki, na hiyo ndio one of the things zenye Temba, wherever you are, hatutasahau. Watu wa Nairobi tumekasirika because things are not being done, but watu tukitaka kuchange, tukitaka kuleta mabadiliko, inakuwa thwarted. So you can imagine, watu wametaka kufanya mabadiliko kwa country wakastopishwa. Watu wametaka kufanya mabadiliko kwa counties, especially Nairobi, watu ndio wamekatazwa ama wamekatishwa juu we don't, by the way, mali imefika saizi Kenyans don't have constitutional rights to do what they're supposed to do. MCAs don't have power to do what they're supposed to do. Senators don't have power what they're supposed to do. Yesterday, I remember seeing Raila, was it in Laikipia, mali alikuwa ameenda masishi, and people could not allow him to speak. Sifuna was there, na Sifuna akaongea akasema, I like what Sifuna usually does, especially kwa ma meetings. He has never changed his tune, amebaki na ule msimamo wake. Those are the kind of people wenye tunataka kuona wakiendelea kuinject. So we appreciate what some of our leaders are doing, and we pray for them that God will give them the grace so that they are able to continue injecting giving some advices to some of these the so-called government leaders who don't know what they're supposed to do. And I saw a clip going around. I don't know whether how true it is. Njeru, ni huko kwenu, umesema ni kwenu. Naona watu walikuwa wanacheka wakichekelea mbunge wenu Ichungwa that babake alikufa, na wacha asikie uchungu vile Wakenya walikufa nao wakasikia uchungu, and they wasema ati we sympathize but we move on. Na wakasema wacha naye asikie uchungu, and these tiktokers wamefanya mambo kweli. And also yesterday niliona, not yesterday, on Friday niliona sijui ni polisi gani official gani akisema ati tiktokers wataanza kushikwa juu wana give wrong impressions ama wrong informations, and they are looking for a cloud, that waongee ati hakuna majambazi in Nairobi. And you wonder, mimi peke nilinyang'anywa simu nikiongea na simu, barabara tu napita tu na barabara tu, mtu akakuja tu hivi lazima naongea akachukua simu yangu pup, na walikuwa na kwa bike. So you can imagine, alafu mtu anasema ati tiktokers ati watashikwa juu wanaongea maneno kama haya, ati kuna insecurity in Nairobi, ati hao ndio wanafanya watu waanze kuogopa kwenda Nairobi ama. And you wonder some of these policemen wanakanga wapi, ama tu wakiangalianga hizi maclips zenye zinapita around I believe what they don't want is people to share what is happening. Hawataki watu waonyeshe video, hawataki watu waonyeshe goons the way wanaibia watu. I remember even one of the security guard alisema, alikuwa hapo karibu na Pizza Inn, na akasema ati aliona mtu akiibiwa akaenda kusaidia kusaidia huyo mtu, aligongwa vibaya na alikuwa na stitches, alikuwa amepigwa kwa uso na alikuwa na stitches. So alafu mtu anasema ati tiktokers should not. By the way, they have alerted many people. Watu wameogopa saizi, huwezi tembea town hivyo you are alone in some sections. Hata mimi nimejua, I thought Nairobi city ama CBD is safe, but I came to realize that there are some places ukipita ujichunge. There are some areas that huwezi pita some certain time na si kujua. So these tiktokers, hata tukiambiwa ati watashikwa juu they are giving alarming reports, but simesaidia. There are people are feared now moving to those areas, ama kupita saa fulani, ama when you are alone huwezi pita huko. Una make sure that you are, maybe unaongojea mtu akikuja ndio mpite na yeye. So I believe they are giving us some informations which are necessary for us to use so that we are not mugged ama robbed. Watu wana visu wanatembea, and this one, it is because of what happened during maandamano. You can remember during maandamano watu walikuja na marungu na wako na askari na wanapita around. So those same people wenye walikuwa nakuja na marungu wanapita na askari wako around, and they were not even arrested. Hakuna mtu alimention about it. Wakenya walipiga kelele na hakuna kitu watu waliongea, especially the serikali iliongea ikisema, ama those policemen hawakukuja wasema ati we saw people with rungus and tuliona kwa camera, we've known. Ama why don't they print these faces zenye sionekana zimebeba marungu, wasiprint kwa newspaper the way they do maybe to terrorists. These are the real terrorists, not wale watu wenye walikuwa wanaongea kitu wanashikwa wanaenda kuchajiwa ati they are terrorists. I believe it's high time that these Kenya leaders know what they're supposed to do. Otherwise, watu wa keyboard and those ones wenye wako kwa panel, since Njiru is not around, I'll call it a day. And time we imeenda sana, some of us need to sleep. It's 4 a.m. We need to sleep now. Kesho ni kanisa, lazima tuende kanisa. Njiru, if you're around, you can take over. If you're not around, I'll call it a day. Njeru, Mwaura, thank you for being around. If you have anything, you can also say bye-bye to the brethren. Nabela Fest, kama muko, museme bye-bye before sija call it a day. Njeru?
Hapana, sina ya kusema, nimeenda kulala.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
Asante sana.
Anya Bella Fest, are you around? You can say the last word. I'm gonna say goodbye to people. Njiru, if you're not there, then we call it a day. Otherwise, God bless you. God bless Kenya. Aluta continua. Good night, good morning, wherever you're watching from. Watu wa keyboard, you can also say goodbye. Thank you, we appreciate you.
So I think tumemaliza sasa. Bwana Belfast, iko kitu ya kuongeza ama nifunge? Okay. Okay, wacha tuonane kesho. Kesho ni siku. Thank you very much.